Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's edition of the Sunday Wire. I'm Patrick Henningsen, your host. We're streaming out live on YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook Live, BitChute Live, as well as 21stcenturywire.com, alternatecurrentradio.com, and on the audio streams after the show, you'll find us on iTunes, Spotify, and all the major streaming and podcasting audio platforms. We're all there every week. So if you subscribe to any of those, you'll probably see us in your feed. Thank you for joining us. This is episode 600. Episode 600, weekly episode 600. That's a lot of weeks. Goes back quite a long way, I think, since 2014. So that's how far this show has come. Your weekly omnibus news and analysis television radio program, brought to you here on the Alternate Current Radio Network, as well as 21 Wire, as we said previously. Now, there's going to be some issues covered today. We're going to try to tease apart the show subject. Is there a deal? Is there not a deal? That's the big question. We all thought it was going to get signed on Friday in Geneva, I guess. There are a few sort of pre-signings, various ceremonies, symbolic ones. We'll look at those in a minute. But the thing that was supposed to happen on Friday didn't happen on Friday. And I can't say that I didn't predict that that was going to happen. I went on many podcasts during the week and more or less said exactly that. It's not that, I have a crystal ball. I just know that this is an impossible situation, and too much, too little, too late for Trump to try to patch up and fix up this disaster that he himself created, and was very resolute in pushing forward for like the last 3 or 4 months. All of a sudden, it's not such a good plan anymore. And there's a lot of people that are sort of, congratulating the president for doing this great deal. Let's not forget who started this war in the first place. Let's not forget who threatened the Iranians with total civilizational annihilation, who killed thousands of Iranians, who massacred school children. That's Donald Trump and the United States military, led by a psychopath, Pete Hegseth, who's probably going to get sacked pretty soon, by the way. So, while J.D. Vance and Trump are making the rounds trying to say, we want out, we want to bring this, there's been too much fighting. Yeah, because you started the fighting. Israel's killing too many Lebanese. Yeah, because you're giving them the weapons. So don't give these people too much credit. They're playing a double game with you. They're trying to take credit for like stopping a war that they started, basically. That's the long and the short of it. Anyway, before we get to that, we'll break that down, as well as a couple of interesting stories here. Go to 21stcenturywire.com. Sunday screening, Whistleblower Inc. Very interesting documentary film. Just a little bit of an inside look into, specifically in the UK, though, the legislation that's come in for whistleblowing. We're starting to see authoritarianism right across all the Western countries. All the so-called democratic countries are going full-blown fascist. So pay attention to the legislation they're passing regarding whistleblowers. And in many ways, it's really designed to contain, head off, and ultimately prevent and intimidate potential whistleblowers from being whistleblowers. That's the government's interest. And as much as possible, making this illegal. Okay? Our so-called transparent democratic governments don't like transparency. They don't. And we've seen this coming for a while. But anyway, this will just give you another aspect of this. Very well made independent or documentary film. I'm not sure how independent it is in terms of like small network or large network, but definitely worth watching. Check that out at 21stcenturywire.com. That'll be up on every week. We do a Sunday screening that's curated by our editorial department here at 21stcenturywire.com. Check it out. Now, in addition, we'll get to the theme of this week's show, deal or no deal. That's the question. What happened to the deal? I've got a deal cooking, said Trump. Guess not. Guess not. So it's interesting how this is unfolding. And as we've said last week, and as we said many times during the week, that there's just too many ways that Israel can sabotage this, what we call a memorandum understanding. There's no such thing as a deal in international law or diplomacy. It doesn't exist. It's a term that Trump made up. The reason Trump kept using this term deal is because it's amorphous. You can make it into anything you want. There's no way to prove whether you're successful or not because you can't define it. It's not an official agreement. It's not an official accord, and it's not an official treaty. This particular deal is actually a memorandum of understanding. That's an agreement for two parties to negotiate in the future. That's all it is. It's not peace deal. It's not an end to the war. None of that. The war continues. But what it is better to call it a de-escalation agreement. Okay, that's more accurate. A de-escalation agreement. Imagine if the media were like describing these things like they actually are. But instead, the media are defaulting to Trump language. They're saying deal, deal, deal. So completely ridiculous, no precedent whatsoever. But yet, this is the way he runs diplomacy and foreign policy. And that's the problem. That's why any other potential negotiations failed, not least of all early on, because the U.S. used negotiations and the Israelis as a opportunity to mount a sneak attack against the Iranians. They thought they were going to win. They thought that was brilliant. Let's pull them to the table in Oman for peace deals, and then let's attack them at night. And better yet, let's assassinate their head of state. Yeah. So clever. These Israelis and Trump. They're so smart, aren't they? They really did. They really they declared victory back then. You remember? How many times did Trump declare victory? 3, 4, 5. Not going well, is it? Can't say we didn't warn you, gentlemen. So let's take a look at Paris this past week. So this is before this supposed little signing ceremony was supposed to happen in Geneva. Maybe they were going to deploy the Vice President, J.D. Vance. He's getting a lot of airtime now. They're giving him things to do. I think as Trump, if you look at Trump, he's been looking very lethargic. He's grossly overweight. He's just moping around with those, like, his shoulders hunched. I mean, he always did that. But just waffling and then very lethargic. The lethargy in his speech as well. It's not pleasant to listen to. So clearly he's some would look at him and say he's not long for this world. Trump. He just turned 80. He looks like a mess, sounds like a mess. He's clearly in a type of cognitive decline. Now, look, I'm just stating exactly the way myself and millions of others are observing what they're seeing with their eyes, which is the president looks shot to bits, totally shot to pieces. I think it's the stress. I think it's perhaps deep down realizing what damage he's done to America and the world, and it is in fact his own fault. And that's a tremendous burden to put on him. I'm sure it's somewhere deep down he's realizing what a mess he's made of everything. And just the fact he's been so disrespectful to people. He's insulted everybody, every political leader, every journalist, whole populations. And just has done some too many horrible things to even like mention. It would take you have to do a 24-hour show, like a marathon with like 8 hosts passing the baton or something, maybe more. You couldn't cover it all. This is by far the worst leader in U.S. history, maybe in world history. And so It's only poetic justice and fitting that he fell for this trap. You know, when you're owned by, last week we showed how he was owned by Anderson Cooper, which is embarrassing. But when you get owned by Emmanuel Macron, okay, Emmanuel Macron, little Frenchman, the Rothschild banker, married to nobody quite knows what, yet married to his former school teacher who's like 30 years older than him, who nobody's quite sure what Brigitte is, if you know what I mean. So when you get completely owned by Macron, when Macron sets you up and you get punked by this French leader who's polling at like below 20% in France, or very low, he's very unpopular, and still he laid a trap for Trump that Trump basically, if someone told Trump afterwards what had just been done to him, it would be very depressing for Trump because he couldn't say anything. He couldn't put a one-liner on Truth Social to make it all right. He literally walked into a trap. And the symbolism of this is undeniable. Let me show you the clip. This is Trump at a signing ceremony in Versailles. It's like a pre-signing of this Iran deal. But what's he really signing here? He's signing, agreeing to all these Iranian terms and getting nothing. So he's basically surrendering. He's admitting. The U.S. surrendered to Iran. He signed a surrender document. Where's the worst place you could do that? The worst place you could sign such a document is where Germany signed it after World War I, the humiliating surrender of Germany. The Palace of Versailles in France. Well, here's Trump. Trump was probably, to his credit, or to be fair, not to his credit, but to be fair, he was probably totally enamored with the gardens, the mirrors, all these sort of Baroque and Rococo helmets and motifs everywhere, and the architecture. He's probably blown away. He's probably saying, if only we could have this at Mar-a-Lago. I've got pillars like this at Mar-a-Lago. It's very nice. Send your people to Florida, Manny. We'll recreate this in Florida. That's where Trump's brain was. He didn't realize he was signing a surrender document with the exact same backdrop as the German humiliation after World War I. Think about it. Here it is. We're going to bring this up on screen in a moment, but just searching our video library. There it is. Here it is.
Okay. Sounds good. This was not easy, I can tell you.
Notice Rubio behind him. It's like his footman. It's like his minder or his butler. Rubio's like pointing to him, telling him where to sign and stuff like that. It's embarrassing. I thought that was Howard Lutnick on the other side, but that's the French counterpart there. I mean, the irony of this is... Surrender, Trump. Rubio's pointing out. There's a sign there, Donald. Just put your surrender signature there. Trump had no idea what's going on. See, this is the price of ignorance. When you don't know history, you don't read, you paid people to write your papers in university. You cheated on half your tests because you're so smart. Trump is too smart for school. and he got set up here so badly. What a humiliation for Trump, but also for America. This goes down in history as a humiliation for America. The war, yeah, of course, Iran won, but America got duped because their leader is so stupid and so ignorant of history. He got duped into signing a surrender document at Versailles. And Macron is just like a Cheshire cat, just grinning, knowing that he got, because Trump insulted Macron more than once. But the Europeans are like, look what we just did to you. I mean, it's unbelievable. But, all this would more or less be lost on him, but I'm sure one of his advisors told him it's probably why he's been so thoroughly depressed for the rest of the week. And then, of course, they canceled the meeting in Geneva. Why? Because part of the stipulation of this agreement with Iran was that Israel halted their military aggression in Lebanon. And what did Israel do? Well, what do scorpions do when they're riding on the back of a frog crossing the river? They sting the frog. This is what Israel does. It has an insatiable appetite for killing people, particularly Arabs. And so, yeah, they just went on a rampage, massacring Lebanese. Basically, by doing that, they're sending a message to the U.S. like, we decide, what we do in our neighborhoods, our business. But we'll still take your bombs, your missiles, your F-35s. We'll still use all your satellite intelligence, which you give to us anyway. So thank you very much, USA, says Israel. And that was it. The Iranians said, we're not sending our delegation to Geneva. And then J.D. Vance says, we've got some logistical issues. No, it's funny how the media left out the part that Iran withdrew first. Most people didn't catch that. That didn't get any coverage. What got coverage, what came after, was the U.S. making an excuse why they couldn't go. So they didn't necessarily make a statement blaming Israel or condemning Israel. They just stayed quiet, said we had logistical issues, we're not ready to move forward, and left out all the context. That's what they did. Go look at the mainstream reporting on Friday afternoon. You'll see a lot of this ambiguous reporting from the BBC and others. It's usual, standard. So after that great humiliation at Geneva, Trump started really waffling. I mean, the rhetoric is really toned down. It's not as aggressive against Iran. I think someone read him the Riot Act probably on this, because I don't think he had an epiphany voluntarily, because he's not capable. He is like the lowest amount of self-awareness of anybody. But, it used to be one of the red lines was Iran's missile program. No, they can't have missiles. They're threatening our troops. Threatening our Iranian missiles are endangering our troops in the Gulf. I mean, your troops, the ones in the bases where you launched attacks on Iran, Donald and Marco. Anyway, that's all gone. That rhetoric's gone. Now Trump's saying something totally different. He's saying Iran should be able to have missiles because other countries have missiles. And it wouldn't be fair if Iran wasn't able to have some to protect themselves. Here's Trump.
The press conference, you said you don't mind Iran having ballistic missiles. Can you elaborate on that? I want to make sure we understand your position.
No, I'm saying that if other countries have them, it's a little bit unfair for them not to have some. A ballistic missile is not the same thing as what we're talking about when we talk nuclear. But if Saudi Arabia and Qatar, and they all have some, I would say in relative proportion, I think it's okay. That's what I mean.
Here's the thing, Donald. You're not going to be able to decide what proportion Iran has in terms of missiles. You can't negotiate that because you attacked them. And you got the UAE and others in Israel to help. So you got 3, maybe 4 countries involved in attacking Iran. and they're not going to give up any of their missiles. You have no, the USA has no say, no leverage to dictate to Iran how many missiles they can have, what kind of missiles they have. Forget it. You had the opportunity to do that earlier, but you chose to go scorched earth, thinking that you're going to have a big win, a big W, and now you've got a massive L. One of many. So no, you won't be dictating anything to do with missiles. Not at all. So is the president of the United States that delusional? Is he that out to lunch? Sadly, the answer is yes. He is. I wish it wasn't true, but it is. So J.D. Vance has been given a lot of airtime because Trump is in such bad shape. They've deployed Vance to go out and sort of be the face of this deal, the face of the administration. And while he's saying some moderately interesting things, is also some stuff he's saying that just doesn't make any sense. And quite frankly, it sounds like this is the problem with Vance is he likes to wing it. He likes to wing it. He makes things up as he goes along. Clearly doesn't have any depth of understanding of some of these issues. But again, he's a great talker. We called him the White Obama because he's a absolutely expert talker. But at 41 years old, what exactly does he know? Not much. Not much. Are his advisors any good? No. If I was advising this guy, I honestly, you'd have to do an intense learning and drill session to make sure he got the basics. But when it comes to Lebanon and Hezbollah, you just can't take talking. You can't take talking points and then recycle them and expect that people are going to know that you're credible. You haven't done your homework. But you think you can BS your way through the conversation, which is quite patronizing to the people of Lebanon, for starters. But it's the U.S., it's the Trump administration. I suppose we can't expect a lot. But here's J.D. Vance. This is interesting. A couple of things in here I'm going to flag, both good and bad. Let's listen.
The Axios report, that Netanyahu is fuming. That's not reflective of the conversations that I've had with him, but maybe he's saying something to somebody else that he's not saying to me. What I will say, and this does bother me, is that you've seen people within Bibi's cabinet who have come out and attacked the deal, and in some ways very personally attacked the President of the United States. And I guess my message to them would be twofold. Number one, Donald J. Trump is the only head of state in the entire world who is sympathetic to the nation of Israel at this moment in time.
That's not true. That's not true. Modi in India, he's still clinging to his best BBF relationship with Netanyahu, still loves Israel. For how long that's going to last, who knows? Nobody knows. But Argentina, Javier Milikowski, a distant cousin of Netanyahu. Ben Zion Milikowski. Two Polish, Jews. Yeah, Milei is, I think, half Jewish. And so Netanyahu is Polish. Again, not from the Middle East. His family's not from the Levant. They're not Semitic, and neither is Milei. But anyway, so there's a couple of other countries that are pro-Israel. They've got a few in the tank. Hungary, well, not the current government. Orban, head of state, but not the new Peter Magyar. I'm not sure if he's big on the Israel thing. So that's the first thing. Vance is completely false there. But in terms of superpowers, the United States and Trump, that's it. Well, of course, they're not just friendly. They back them. They bankroll them. They arm them. Come on, JD.
And he happens to be the head of state of the world's superpower. If I was in the cabinet of the Israeli government, I might not be attacking the only powerful ally that I have anywhere left in the entire world. And the second message I would give to
Vance said something before that's false. he said here in another interview, maybe we'll play that. He said that Netanyahu's not criticizing the deal, just Smotrich and Ben Gavir and whatever, a couple of other crazies, Likudites. That's false. Netanyahu absolutely has put out statements criticizing the deal. Absolutely. So Vance is trying to sort of play it both ways. He doesn't want to upset Bibi, doesn't want to upset the Israel lobby. He's trying to segregate it to the sort of, ultra hard right ethno-nationalist bloc in Israel. Okay, I get that. He's a politician. That's what they do. But everyone's eyes on this. So if you're president or vice president, you can't just make up facts and expect that the crowd, the public's not going to pull you up on it or kind of recognize that you don't actually know what you're talking about or that you're just saying things for political effect and not because it's true. So that in a way, you're patronizing the public, which I don't, again, J.D. Vance is 41 years old. He has no experience in international politics. He's literally fumbling around in the dark right now. But to his credit, he's grasped the reality that most Americans are sick and tired of Israel and regard Donald Trump as an Israeli puppet, a stooge, as well as the entire administration, for that matter. But let's listen to what he has to say.
Some of those cabinet members, Bibi, to his credit, has not gone down this path, but to some of
false
these cabinet members in Israel who are attacking the President of the United States, the other thing that I would say is that over the last 3 months, 2/3 of the defensive weapons that have protected your homeland have been built by American hands and paid for by American tax dollars. The problem for Israel is not Donald J. Trump. And anybody in Israel who thinks their biggest problem is the President of the United States needs to wake up and smell the reality of the situation that country is in. Thank you all.
Is it possible to smell a reality of a situation? I thought he was going to say smell the coffee. I was getting ready for that. And he said, no, you smell the reality. What does the reality of the situation smell like? Is that even possible? Anyway, so Vance rightly points out that the U.S. arms the Israelis, and yeah, that's correct. So that's a start. So yeah, they deployed him. He's putting a little pressure, pushing back a little bit on Israel. Mark Levine on Fox is like popping blood vessels right now. I mean, he's just beside himself. He's just panicking. But the usual suspects. They're saying the U.S. had betrayed Israel on this. It's funny, after everything you do for them, it's not enough. It's never enough. They always want more. Very greedy, the Israelis, very greedy. It's all one way for them. They get all the benefit. U.S. pays all the money, takes all the risk. Great relationship, special relationship. So, but the problem with Vance is he's still trying to cling to this idea that we're still the best friends of Israel and so forth. Why would you say that when Israel's screwing the U.S. royally? I mean, that's a hell of a. I mean, that's just submission right there. Why do you have to genuflect to the Israelis when everyone knows they're jobbing the U.S.? It's incredible. I mean, these politicians are so pathetic. I mean, they really are. I mean, anyway, Vance isn't done. And he gave an interview with this, I forgot this chap. I think he writes for Unheard or The Telegraph. I'm not sure. Mark, his first name is Mark. But anyway, podcaster. So many of them. So here's a little segment from their sit-down interview. Now, Vance is doing a lot of these podcasts. He's just done Stephen Bartlett, Diary of a CEO. That's like arguably the biggest podcast on YouTube. It's very well produced. I thought Stephen Bartlett actually did a good job throwing some journalistic questions at Vance, much better than journalists are doing. More challenging. That's pretty, I mean, on one level, it's sad that journalists can't push and throw little bit hardball questions at some of these politicians, and you have to leave it to a novice non-journalist who just usually sits there and interviews people. Stephen Bartlett, he's an entrepreneur, businessman, sort of a cultural business science polymath type, pundit. Anyway, he had Vance on there. So he's doing the rounds. So what Vance is doing here is campaigning for the 2028 election. Just so you guys know, when you go and appear on these podcasts, it's to get people to like you. And Vance told his life story, hillbilly elegy, which, I thought it was interesting when it first came out, but like it's been wrung out so many times, it's boring. A lot of people I know are just sick of it. They're tired of hearing the Kentucky hillbilly saga. Okay. It was interesting back in 2022, 2023, when Vance ran for Senate. Great. But, people are kind of tired of it now. But anyway, it's what he's got. It's what he has to run with. So, So here's this other segment. We'll comment on a couple of things here.
But yeah, you've seen people in their system, Ben Gavir and Smotrich, who've attacked the deal. And I guess my response to them would be, what is your exact proposal? And, you're a country of 9 million people. You can't just kill your way out of solving every single national security problem that you have.
I mean, that's a big statement to have coming from the White House. That probably just completely bamboozled a lot of Israelis. So, we're going to give Vance a few points. We'll give him a few points. I'll give him an attaboy. Get a little attaboy, JD, for that. That's good. That takes some balls, respect. But you have to remember, JD, this is a mess you created. You weren't exactly protesting when Trump and Israel launched an illegal, undeclared war of aggression that's been a disaster for the U.S. global economy, for you politically, for your party, and for America internationally. Disaster on every front. You guys started it. You're responsible for this. They're trying to gaslight us, the public, to think that they're there as a savior, to bring an end to this war. I mean, it's just unbelievable how they're reframing this. The last thing these people will do, politicians will never apologize. And I noticed this in the 21st century. It's just like they can never do a mea culpa, never back down, never apologize. That's it. It's literally Roy Cohn politics. You'll never get honesty, authenticity. You'll never get it from these people. They'll never own anything that they do that's a disaster because it's like against their sort of career handbook, because they know it shows weakness and we can't show weakness because we need to sort of cling to power because nobody really likes us, actually. Anyway, I digress. Listen to JD.
Look at what we've accomplished. First of all, Americans have protected a lot of Israeli lives through our missile systems and through our missile programs over the last few months. We have destroyed their nuclear program. We have got the Iranians in a point where they're offering.
So that's still clinging to the same BS. You didn't destroy their nuclear weapons program, J.D. Vance, because they didn't have a nuclear weapons program to destroy. They weren't building a bomb. They weren't pursuing a bomb. So says the CIA. The U.S. intelligence assessment, just like the last intelligence assessment, just like the one before it, and the one in 2003 or 2004, they are not pursuing a nuclear weapon, so you did not destroy anything. Are you talking about destroying their civilian nuclear program? You could make the argument that you've done that, but you didn't fully destroy it. So that's a lie. So what is it? This is the problem with these politicians. It's either they're ignorant, it's either they don't know what they're talking about, or they're just being disingenuous and like spinning some kind of like weird sort of twisted thing to kind of, I don't know, They feel like they have to say something, but they got to be careful because it doesn't hurt their career. And you end up with this just mashup of nobody quite knows what he says or means. I suppose he's talking about the nuclear weapons, but they don't exist. The world knows that. JD might not. Or he thinks that everyone's so stupid that they're just going to swallow what he's saying here and take it as gospel. I'm afraid many don't. But anyway, you fooled a few people. You fooled a few, but you can't fool everyone.
Things, again, whether they'll actually act on them, we'll see, but they're offering things that would have been the stuff of dreams even 6 months ago. So let us play this negotiation.
He's saying Iran has offered things that would have been the stuff of dreams 6 months ago. What's he talking about? Iran's offered nothing. Are we going by the memorandum of understanding? Is that what we're going by? The 14 points or whatever? No, Iran isn't. No, the U.S. is offering everything. So J.D. Vance is giving you the opposite. He's inverting reality. He's saying that Iran's giving us everything and we're going to get this deal done. No, U.S. is giving everything. Iran's giving nothing. Iran is dictating terms of surrender, JD. Didn't you see the surrender ceremony at the Palace of Versailles? Reminiscent of the Kaiser capitulating to Europe after World War I. I mean, did you not get that part? Was that lost on you? Did you also sleep through 8th grade history when you were 13? Don't know. It's unclear. We don't know for sure. The jury's still out. Well, not really. Anyway, here he is.
Now, let us see if the Iranian actions actually meet the Iranian words and give a little.
Let me see if the Iranian actions meet the Iranian words. What are you talking about? They don't have to do anything. They just keep doing what they're doing. You, on the other hand, have to do all the performance, the USA, because you are accepting Iranian terms of surrender, Mr. J.D. Vance. See, this is the problem with promoting these people with no experience, shoehorning them into like a vice presidential position at the age of 41, and then like pushing them to be president 2 years later, or 4 years later, sorry. No depth, no appreciation for history, definitely no nuance. Just wing it as you go along, get through the conversation. That's what these people are good at. One interview to another, to the next. That's it. Anyway, listen.
A little bit of credit to the United States of America, which I think has been an incredible partner for the Israeli government for a long time.
Bravo, JD. You've been a great partner to the Israeli government. And what's the Israeli government doing with that great partnership? Genocide in Gaza, genocide in South Lebanon, pogroms in the West Bank. Well, that partnership's going really well, JD, isn't it? Yes, sir. Going real well, that partnership. We've been great partners to the Israelis, the most hated country in the world, the biggest murderers and killers, great partners. You must be proud of that. It's something to be proud of, JD, isn't it? You should be proud of that. He speaks with such pride. Like, we are good partners to those Israelis, those rapists, those murderers, running pogroms, 10,000 Palestinians in gulag prisons with no trial, no due process, nothing. So proud of our partnership with the Israelis as they bomb and eviscerate whole towns and villages in South Lebanon, killing people for sport in Gaza. I'm so proud of our partnership with those Israelis. Well done, JD. That's been a great partnership. Do you think people are stupid out here? Do you really think people are that stupid? Stop patronizing the public, please. You sound mildly intelligent, but you're actually not fooling anyone with the content of what you're actually saying, Mr. Vice President. People aren't stupid. Well, some are, but many aren't. Anyway.
Best case, do you think that this deal changes how Hezbollah works?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I think that there is this weird
He didn't even answer the question. He's not going to say anything about Hezbollah here. He's going to sort of pivot to Israel. He may circle back to try to address that question. But again, what you need to understand about J.D. Vance is he's like Obama. He just makes it up as he goes along. He's a good conversationalist. He's sort of very talented on the fly. He can put sentences together, but there's no depth or meaning to them. He is what you call a situational sort of presenter, talker. He's very good at situational conversation, but he doesn't actually know what he's talking about half the time. It's kind of obvious. Here, anyway, we'll listen to the rest of this.
Almost in the Israeli system that I've picked up on, where they assume that everything that is contemplated that is good for Iran will happen, but that will happen without the Iranians changing any behavior. And I just don't know why anybody would think that's true. That's not how the deal is written. The United States has all the financial leverage. Like the President of the United States or the Secretary of the Treasury have to release all these sanctions. Do they actually think we're going to release sanctions on the Iranian, system if they're still funding a terrorist organization?
Okay, the U.S. has no financial. If the U.S. had financial leverage over Iran, America wouldn't have signed a surrender document this week. Think about it. You have leverage, but it's not moving Iran. You're just stealing money. You're just freezing assets. You're just thieving, piracy, stealing stuff. All that's doing is hardening the resolve of the Iranians and proving to Iran and to the world that you're a bunch of pirates. You're a bunch of thieves. You steal. You stole from Venezuela. You're torturing the Cuban population, killing people, starving them. Totally immoral. That's what you are, J.D. Vance. That's what your administration is. But go ahead, play dumb. Play dumb. And then he calls Hezbollah a terrorist group. Yeah, they are, according to the United States, according to U.S. government's proscription, according to the allies of America, Brussels, the UK, Germany. They list Hezbollah as a terrorist group. Are they a terrorist group in Lebanon? No. Everyone in Lebanon knows what Hezbollah is. It's a political party. They're in parliament, and they have a militia. And they're defending the south. They're defending the southern border. So the reason they're designated as a, quote, terrorist group is because the Israel lobby in America has demanded that our congressmen and senators label them as terrorists, sanction them, etc. And then we pressure the lobby as well. Israel pressures Britain to do the same. Even though Hezbollah haven't attacked any of these countries, they're, quote, proscribed as a terrorist organization. Same with Hamas. So it means you can't support them, otherwise you're supporting terrorism. You can't say anything nice about them on social media, otherwise you're supporting terrorism. It's ludicrous. It's ridiculous. But it's that framing that is actually the fundamental flaw in the U.S. policy and approach. That's what happens when you allow a foreign country to dictate what you're doing, what your laws are like, who you can talk to, who you can't, which Israel does. That's the problem. By calling Hezbollah a terrorist group and like maintaining them as a terrorist group, even though they don't have any expeditionary terrorist outfits or anything like that. It's not like Al-Qaeda or ISIS. They're indigenous to South Lebanon. They're from those villages that you've been bombing, that you've flattened. And now you've hardened the resolve for the next generation of Hezbollah fighters, of course, genius. But by doing that means you don't have to have dialogue, you can't have diplomacy, you're assassinating their leaders, some of the top thinkers in the Middle East and the Arab world ever. You're just killing them because you're claiming they're terrorists, when all they're doing really is thwarting an illegal occupation of the Israelis, the aggression of Israel, and the fact that Israel's stolen Lebanese land, which is never given back, way before this happened. That's why they exist. You call them terrorists because anybody that fights back against Israel or opposes Israeli oppression, land theft, apartheid, anybody who's engaged in any armed liberation struggle. Israel instructs the West to label them terrorist. That's the truth. And that's the way it is. That's why things are the way they are. Anyway, those are high concepts, way over the pay grade of the vice president.
The answer is, of course not. So I find this whole freak out in Israel a little bit odd because.
See, he said, well, we're not going to unfreeze any assets or lift sanctions until, as long as there's a terrorist organization, Hezbollah. And what's he talking about? You're not going to lift them or unfreeze them anyway, because Congress won't let you, because the Israeli lobby controls all of those Congress people to guarantee that you will not be able to lift those sanctions, i.e. not repeal those laws. Again, Israel's in our government, the Zionist-occupied government, the Zog. So you'd be lucky to you can maybe lean on the Gulf Arabs because they stole a lot of Iranians' money and they froze it in their accounts. You could probably crowbar that out, send it to them. It's their money. It's not free cash that you magicked up in the Federal Reserve. That's actual real money. It's Iranian money. They earned it. You stole it. You got your allies to steal for you as well. Now you have to pay some of it back. Will the U.S. pay back what they've stolen and frozen? Maybe, maybe not. Probably never. They probably spent it already, quite frankly. These people probably put it in their pockets. Anyway, let him finish.
Because I think that it comes from a place of mistrust, and I think that America has earned the trust of that region of the world.
That was the piece de la résistance, as they say in France. America has learned the trust of the Middle East. America has earned the trust of the Middle East. I don't know what to make about that statement. That's a special one. That's something special right there. J.D. Vance. This guy's a real piece of work. Let's hear that again. Let me just blow up that a little bit. Let's hear that again.
Comes from a place of mistrust, and I think that America has earned the trust of that region of the world.
Honestly, folks, who needs entertainment when you've got this? America's earned the trust of the Middle East. Wow. That's something special right there. So, he's very shallow, J.D. Vance. He's not particularly deep, but he sounds intellectual. He sounds confident. He's quite good, strong, speaker and whatnot. But there's no depth. There's an old saying: "Nice house, nobody home," especially upstairs. Anyway, it's good enough to fool some people. So that's why the reason I'm saying this isn't just to it's not just to admonish J.D. Vance for the sake of having a go at him. It's because you look at these things and they're real indicators of competence. And to be able to marshal any kind of peace process, you need people that are highly competent. You need people that are experienced. People that know the culture and the history really well. People that can put things into political and historical and geopolitical perspective. That's what you need to do what I call a diplomatic high wire act. Requires that level of talent. J.D. Vance doesn't have that. Not even close. Maybe if he was working in state or had an ambassadorship or something, or went back and did his master's or his and a PhD, 10 years, I would say in 10 years, then he might be qualified. But now he's just winging it. He's making it up as he goes along. It's very insulting and patronizing, but anyway, it's what they do. It's not unusual for Washington. So that's it. Where is it all heading? Where is it all heading? Anyway, let's take a look. Hold on, there's another one here. What's this last story? I'm going to talk about this in Overdrive. what's it called? The Dialogue, Peter Thiel's secret group, another elite confab, sort of like Bilderberg Light, but it's not light. There's some heavy-duty names in there. We'll talk about that maybe in Overdrive. So kind of like Bilderberg, yeah, setting the agenda, a little bit weird. They even got a speed dating feature there for like, high-level globalists looking for a partner. I didn't see too many attractive females on that list, but I guess they're not all these men are looking for females. That's another thing. But there he is, Peter Thiel, Musk, the others, and there's basically a whole bunch of military men. So these are all the World War III harbingers, horsemen of the apocalypse, whatever you want to call them. At some point, folks, you have to make the comparison. It would be amiss not to acknowledge this, that the idiocracy was predictive programming. Just saying. In Washington, we're not far. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. We're getting close. Trump is bringing us ever closer to the pinnacle of U.S. politics and culture and society. We just need a little more time to dumb down the population a little bit more. Elon's working on that. Sam Altman's working on that. AI, the robots. We'll get there. Just give us a little more time. We can really dumb down and kind of further emasculate and ultimately render most of the population completely superfluous to requirements. And yeah, they said, don't worry, a robot's going to take your job, but you can take up painting. You've always wanted to paint. You can create poetry, all these lovely pursuits. You can do knitting. Don't worry about the jobs, and the robots will do all that. Just get a watercolor set. That's what you need to do. And collect your UBI check. Long as you're not saying anything too controversial online. And definitely don't go to a public rally. You might not get your UBI. And then what? Then what? Camps, prisons, work camps, work assignment, chain gangs, roadside litter cleanup. Theoretically, you can get robots to do all of this stuff as well. What happens when a robot commits crime? Do we arrest the robot? Does he go into robot jail? They just deactivate him. I don't know. It's weird. It's moving fast. It's getting weirder. But as Hunter S. Thompson famously said, and I'm not endorsing Hunter. I know his personal life is a shambles. But when the going gets weird, the weird go pro. Definitely Elon's gone pro. That's for sure. He's driving it. But yeah, you got to be a little bit weird or think like the weirdos to understand the weirdos. So yeah, we're a little bit offbeat. I think we sort of get some of this craziness because all of us, to one degree or another, are a bit crazy. And that's pretty much everybody these days. And why not? It's what you need to be. Look, we're going to take a break and we'll come back, join some of our teammates, check out and review the top most clever and offensive comments in our comment streams, hear from the people who really know what's going on, our audience, along with our teammates on the other side. I'm Patrick Henningsen. This is the Sunday Wire, episode 600. Trying to make it special, 600. It's a big number. It's a really big number. It's a big, many say it's big. 7's bigger, but 6 is very big. See you in a few.
faces of a crime. The sleight of hand betrays something slept inside their hearts as explosions rage. The system breaks as truth increases. The grip on us and the world order ceases. Behind the mask, it's falling to pieces. What comes next? Have they lost all reason? Paper empires catch a spark as vultures come to prey. Hollow kings are losing ground. Shadows of decay. Walls begin to show a crack as ancient echoes fade. Scales shall fall from blinded eyes, renewing all our faith. The system breaks as truth increases. The grip on us and the world order ceases. Behind the mask, it's falling to pieces. What comes next? Have they lost all reason? Eyes open wide. There's no disguise. Eyes open wide. The system breaks as truth increases. The grip on us and the world order ceases. Behind the mask, it's falling to pieces. What comes next? Have they lost all reason? The system breaks as truth increases. The grip on us and the world order ceases. Behind the mask, it's falling to pieces. What comes next? Have they lost all reason?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Sunday Wire. I'm Patrick Henningsen, your host. We're streaming out live on 21stcenturywire.com, alternatecurrentradio.com, iTunes, Spotify, as well as X, live on Facebook, as well as YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, and pretty much everywhere else. But thank you for joining us. We've got a good, healthy live stream today. I know it's great weather out, and still managed to have 1,600 so far in the live stream. That's excellent. Comments are coming in, over 1,000 comments. We're going to get to those in a minute, but thank you guys for your engagement and participation. And I wanted to episode 600. We hit these century marks now and again. So only yesterday we hit 500. We did a big extravaganza. 6. It's bigger than 5, not as big as 7, but it's still big. Anyway, we're going to bring our teammates on board here, joining us on the stage. Bryan McClain, also known to many as Hesher, alternate current radio host of the Boiler Room, and also Adam Clark, known by some as Ruckus, is also joining us here. Thank you, gentlemen, for gracing the stage with your presence this Sunday. And let me just kick it off here. Obviously, I've got this favorite image. It's a good look. I mean, I can get into that, actually. Little risque, but The tour bus is cool, but I could see Trump doing something like that. We're practically. What I was saying that we're nearly there. We're nearly President Camacho. He was actually a reformer, President Camacho. He did have a vision for America. That's true.
He did. He had good intents, right? He just didn't have the horsepower to,
He really believed that Mountain Dew would make the crops grow and the agriculture would be more bountiful if we just poured Mountain Dew on it. So, I mean, we can't fault him. There's good intentions. I'm not sure about Donald Trump's intentions. Honestly, I wonder. It's confusing. I like to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I think we tried that a long time ago, and we've just been burned so many times that we're just crispy critters at this point, if you know what I mean. But your thoughts, Hesher, on this this situation right now, the deal. I've got Ben Gavir here on the side, waiting to come up and show us what he's all about. But go ahead.
I don't know. I have so much skepticism about this. The concept of, it's just like, how do I can't even square the circle, Pat. It's like when this kicked off, when this all first started, and for the first longest time, it was like, we're going to wipe out their civilization. We're going to take out their military. We're going to take all their oil. We're going to put other people in charge. They're not going to have a navy. They're not going to have control of the Straits of Hormuz. They may not even exist. We may just make them disappear somehow. And now it's like, which of those things happened in the little memorandum of understanding that you signed? And when did an MOU become binding? I've been on, like I mentioned last time, I've been on a number of large teams. And there's a lot of MOUs that roll around between organizations, at least on the business level. And it's not necessarily binding. It's in the name. It's a note of understanding, right? It's like you got a promise ring instead of an engagement ring or something like that. And then it's like, okay, well, then my other question is, okay, so let's say someone in the Pentagon's had enough or finally gotten through to these guys in the administration that, hey, this is untenable. This isn't going to work. Okay. We've got to go at least sign an MOU. Well, what happens when Israel continues to attack Lebanon? What happens when they continue to do things that Iran is, expecting not to happen via this MOU? What happens at that point? Because at that point, it seems to me Iran can respond. And if what Israel does in the future is using American intelligence or American weapons, or is in any way, shape, or form hand in hand with America, then Israel and America together have broken the MOU, right? So at this point, I'm like, okay, I just don't believe any of this trash. It is compelling to see Donald Trump sitting there. It is compelling signing the document. It's compelling to see JD Vance saying these things. It's compelling to see Donald Trump at the G7 with, who was that, Witkoff standing next to him, looking like he was about to bounce out of his skin, just vibrating, while Trump is saying somewhat, criticizing Israel, criticizing Bibi, calling it brutal, But is it enough for anyone in this audience to be like, oh, good, it's over? I don't understand. I just, I'm confused by the whole thing. And I have zero faith that there will not be further aggressions into these countries from, our greatest ally in the region. So I don't know what to expect. And I'm kind of like on the edge of my seat. And quite frankly, this has all made me just lean into the feelings that I get when I hear Roger Waters and Mona Miari reigniting Comfortably Numb. Did you guys see that yet?
No.
Oh my God, dude. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Roger Waters.
What is it?
So he re-recorded Comfortably Numb with with Mona Mia. I don't know if I can pronounce her name right. I'm sorry. It's Miari.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a Palestinian musician. And what they did was they reimagined a version of the song 47 years after it was released. And it's got new Arabic verses that transform this Pink Floyd classic into like this beautiful battle cry, bringing attention to what's gone on with the genocide in Gaza. It's absolutely amazing, dude. It's so good.
I'll have to check that out. I would go and play it now if I could search for it, but we might get a copyright strike.
I don't think it'd be safe to play. And frankly, I would recommend that everybody like go in a dark room with your best headphones on and a big screen the first time you watch this, because the visuals, the subtitles, the recording, the performance, it's just A plus 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 plus. So it's like I almost have a hard time thinking about the geopolitics after having watched that. I was just like, I mean, it almost brought me to tears, man.
Wow, it's powerful. Yeah. Yeah, comfortably numb. Exactly. Well, your skepticism on this is well warranted. And it's because of being let down so many times and disappointed and quite frankly horrified by the antics these guys have been playing. I call them a bunch of charlatans and, just, I don't know, posers, most of them, grifters, and it's true. And this is where it ends. This is where they end. This is where it ends up with people like this. There's nothing anyway, and then they're backing out of it and then saying what a great victory it is for them. These guys is shameless. They're shameless. Ruckus, your thoughts on this? Anything that you've observed here that you think is
Well, what just happened? Just a shocking demonstration of just how badly information can be controlled. Patrick Henningsen, king of geopolitics in this space, some might argue, correct? And on X and whatnot. And we are familiar with Roger Waters, quite familiar with the Palestine issue, all fans of Pink Floyd, the music and everything. Yet, did that come across your feed, Patrick?
Nope.
Did it come across?
It did not.
Mine?
No.
Isn't that fascinating? How does that happen? Well, it doesn't happen by accident, is all I'm suggesting. Wowie. So I think what's going on here, the problem is most people, including, not limited to J.D. Vance and Donald Trump, don't quite understand exactly what an MOU is. I think Donald Trump probably mistakenly thought it meant Masters of the Universe or something like that, and that he was going to become such by signing this thing. No, and it's one of those like such a vague, most like it's not illegal. It's like the most unlegal. It's so ridiculous, and it was destined to fail. And I think at the end of the day, what this really looks like is another version of these like 60-day pauses that they've tried that will just fall apart anyways. But I do like what Patrick, I don't know if you saw what I did with it, but I love your graphic for today and the title of the show. So I ran with that one today and I came up with, this version right here, which I thought just describes the whole thing. He's just up there. He thinks he's like this giant like star or something, and he's pretty in his head, but it's just like, you look at the person and they're like, this is just a washed up old fool. And that is basically, unfortunately, where we are with the MOU. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. This does not mean peace. To me, peace means when I stop seeing reports of dead civilians at the hands of Israeli soldiers using taxpayer-funded missiles. That's when we have peace. Not even when Wikipedia says it, because Wikipedia finally, I thought it was over when Wikipedia said, oh, the war's over. So now we're like in something new. And I'm like, what are they going to have to do? Go back and change it? And now we're going to be back there, prorate the number of days. Well, actually now it's day 117 of the war, as if it never stopped. That's where I think we're really at.
Yeah, Wikipedia is a ministry of truth, and the beauty of the ministry of truth is it can be rewritten and changed as you go along. It's like that thing that paints the stripes on the highway. It's like painting it as you're driving. That's and erasing it, and then painting it again. That's the beauty of the ministry of truth. But yeah, that's a pretty compelling image of Trump in a cocktail dress. I mean, what kind of a twisted mind could put that into a prompt for image generation. Ruckus.
I had nothing to do with it.
Let's see it again, please.
Yes, sure, absolutely.
Bring that up on screen. There we go. Full screen on that. Here we go. Look at that. That's just a beauty right there. I do think that looks like natural hair. That's kind of what threw me off with Trump. That actually looks like somebody's hair and not just a weave, or a dead cat or whatever the hell Donald Trump's got on his head.
Well, that's the funniest part of the prompt. I had to specifically, to get the look I wanted, I asked specifically for him to be wearing a cheap stage prop wig.
Cheap. It looks like it's growing out. It's a nice wig.
Yeah.
It's very well done. Yeah, they did a good job on the hairline on that, I think.
But I'm happiest with the disheveled look. It really adds a certain je ne sais quoi to the whole thing.
Yeah, he does look, he looks very disheveled now. Have you guys seen Trump? Yeah. He looks, did you see him get off the plane at Paris?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's a 300-pound man there just moping around. I thought he was going to fall down the stairs.
I know. Wouldn't that be just a terrible irony for him after making fun of Joe Biden falling up and down the stairs so many times?
That's what happens when you put so much currency into insulting people like your opponents, like Biden, and you're the senile one. Now you're the one who's just like falling over it. Donald Trump will do a face plant at some point, and it's going to be epic. And he'll never be able to live it down. He can't say the fake news media. No, you did a face plant. It'll happen. It'll happen. It happens to every president. I mean, George Bush almost died choking on a potato chip, didn't he?
Yep. That's
Fell over, hit his head on the corner of a table. It was like a few inches away from death. Yeah. Imagine that. Biggest warmonger at that point dies trying to swallow a potato chip.
That's why we need the ballroom.
Yes, indeed. Goodness gracious, super sticker coming in hot. Look at that. Kion Ganderson, 1483, $49.
Nice.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's the biggest one we have seen yet.
Yep.
Thank you, sir. That is you're setting a very high standard there. Thank you so much. I hope you like the show. Well, clearly, yes. And there's a few others in here. Mindhack, 2878. Canadian Loonies. Love the Canadian Loonie money. 279. That's awesome. It's probably because of the conversion. That's why I got an odd number there. But yeah, thank you guys for the super stickers. We'll get into the comments in a moment. There's just too many zingers in here. I can't keep up with them. You guys are just like producing so much knowledge in the comment threads. How can we possibly keep up? But yes, Ruckus, I thought that was to do with the ballroom, the cocktail dress, or the ballroom.
Yeah, there you go.
As many are calling it.
The show, the old way they used to do. I guess it continues now without. I don't think Howie Mandel does it anymore, but he was the guy, and it would have the suitcases, but you'd have all the attractive women wearing the cocktail dresses that were holding the suitcases that you would pick from. I guess it's been a long time since
Deal or No Deal. Oh, yeah. Howie Mandel did that. Okay,
yeah. It's now.
And I was going to do Howard Lutnick as Howie Mandel, but then I did a quick look and I researched and I was like, I don't think Howard Lutnick had anything to do with what's going on, but although he was in your image for the show today, so I almost put him in there.
Yeah, I was thinking Howard Lutnick looks like that cover of the Aphex Twin. I don't know if you know that
window liquor.
Yeah, that dance act from Bristol. I mean, that with the beard and that's kind of how Howard Lutnick reminds me of. Anyway, he's
a friend of Jeffrey Epstein. Liquor.
Yeah, window liquor. Oh, he says, yeah. I don't know Jeffrey Epstein. I've never seen him before. And you're like, okay, that's a snap of you on the island. Great. Oh, you brought your kids. Wonderful. On Christmas Day. Jeff, we were just in the neighborhood and we thought we'd stop by. Wow. Okay. Yes. Okay, fine. Yep. The bowel room. Did you see that last one?
The bowel room.
Bowel. Automatic selector. Bow selector. Bow selector. $10. Thank you very much. Like the PFP. I suspect Trump might have been handed an ultimatum by the large sector of our military that isn't compromised. I mean, what do you guys think about that here? Automatic selectors bringing up a possibility here. Internal discontent within the U.S. system. They're pushing back on him. Someone read him the Riot Act, or the men in black suits showed up. Did the aliens show up and tell him to cut it off? Like what? Was it the military, the white hats guys? What do you think?
Well, there is sort of a conspiratorial precedence for this, if you will. In the 2020 election, I believe there were unsubstantiated rumors going around that, the Biden win was some sort of coup, and that, the military actually stepped in and told the GOP basically to sit the F down and shut the F up. Like, I did hear rumors about that kind of stuff, and you can't help but wonder if these are sort of things that happen. Someone, like you said earlier, gets read a riot act, or some group in the Pentagon that, some little star chamber that actually has some pull of its own outside of the Friends of Epstein circle. I mean, it's possible, but in this case, I kind of doubt it. I don't think they're going to have to worry about any of that, because I don't think this conflict is over.
Yeah. Well, there's that possibility too, but at least they, you could make the argument that they, slowed it down a little bit, or they've hit the brakes. Yeah, it could still be alive. Other nefarious forces can come back in and rev this thing up again. Certainly, there's 101 ways Israel can obviously sabotage this agreement very easily. So in that sense, Iran's got quite a lot of leverage. Iran's clever. The Iranians clever how they wove it all together. And it's created, what the Iranians have done is created tension between the U.S. and Israel. Genius. This is like a judo move. Listen, if you want to play chess against the people that invented chess, you got to just be aware of who you're playing against. They don't have as many guns, weapons, or planes as us, not as many bombs, but they will absolutely leverage every single potential thing they have. And that's what they've done. Sticky marks, 10 pounds. Wow. English pounds. That's it. Sterling. We like sterling. MOU, surrender. It won't matter soon. FFS. I love and pray all of ya NLPs from this crazy old lady in Yorkshire, UK. Sticky marks. Thank you very much. 1919. Appreciate your generosity. You came in big for us last week, and she's back with more. Amazing. That's some proper people up north in Yorkshire.
Yeah, thank you.
Can I
Love and
drop
prayers
something on
back
you guys?
at you.
Real
No
quick,
doubt about it.
see if you noticed this other strange trend that happened almost as soon as the walk back, whatever this is on the whole issue, is that we saw some reports that a Miriam Adelson-funded outlet had come out and did a hit piece against Donald Trump, and we were seeing some evidence now, some of it going quite viral currently on X, that would suggest that. And I just at least it's suggesting the fact that there are some commentators out there on behalf of Israel, i.e. Israelis, saying, oh, we think America needs another 9/11 in order to get back on the right track. That kind of talk. Have you seen any of that kind of stuff going around?
And to take Israel seriously.
Yep.
Yeah. Need an attack on American
threats,
soil.
basically.
Right? Yeah. Attack on American soil. Yes, that's what we need. That's what they're saying. I'm not saying that, obviously.
Right. So what do you think of the veracity of because I did a little brief digging and I'm like, oh, they're really saying that. Because at first my impression was that, oh, this could be, they were just making fake screenshots and using Google Translate. And I'm like, no, these are real people really saying these things really in Hebrew. And, but it's just wild.
Well, isn't that what was in Project for a New American Century's document right before 9/11? Save for another Pearl Harbor. We'll need something like this to get America into gear and build up its military again. And whoa, lo and behold, as if by magic, a new Pearl Harbor.
And what are we more than 50% out of right now. Oh yeah, THAAD missiles, Patriot missiles, all the kind of things that would immediately get contracts for hyper development if something bad were to occur. Hey, Whitebird, happy Father's Day to all the fathers.
Yeah, thank you very much, Whitebird. Exactly. Happy Father's Day. Sometimes I miss the holidays. Never been good. I used to have a calendar that had all the holidays on it, but I don't have the calendar anymore. We just look at our stupid phones, and all it does is flash up a date. I'm not getting holiday alerts. Don't ask me when anything is.
Also National Go Skateboarding Day. So happy skateboarding day.
That's it. I saw a lot
Alright.
of guys out on the skateboarding park today. Maybe is that a global one?
It might be worldwide. I may have said
It is.
national by mistake.
I think it is.
I think we missed Mother's Day too, so belated happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there.
That's true. We did miss Mother's Day. I feel very bad about that.
Sorry, Mom.
Vance is not his name, and he is as fake as Charlie Kirk, who is just a player. Actually, yes, JD Vance changed his name twice. I mean, you guys can Google it, previous JD Vance names. But so did Anna Paulina Luna, former stripper.
So did AOC.
AOC. There's another one. She changed. What is this with the name changes with politicians?
I don't know. I think it's number one, it's a marketing thing, and number two, it's an easy way to scrape some of your past.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a marketing thing as well. Yeah, JD Vance. Anna Meyerhofer. I think she might be Jewish. Former stripper. Best friend of BB. That's always good. Okay. Look at this. Wishful thinking. Iran government can still very well collapse. The least it will have to do, adapt more receptive to the rest of the world once it stops being forcefully isolated. Listen, you can't ask Iran to be more receptive to the world. They've already got most of the world on their side. The world is rooting for Iran. You know, Iran's football team is being persecuted by the U.S. government in the World Cup. And guess what? The crowd loves them. They've got an American fan base. Why? Because real people like the underdog. Real folks like the underdog. They just love that narrative. The underdog. Read Joseph Campbell. It's a natural human thing. Star Wars, anybody? The underdog. You know what I mean?
You know, Patrick, our friend and colleague Photon, shout out to Photon, was telling me and Hesher the other day on a private call that Trump he wants to hold the World Cup for the winning team alongside them.
Of course he does. He'll probably take it.
So what would happen if Iran actually won? Wouldn't that be a little awkward?
That would be very awkward. They'd send in JD Vance to hand it over at that point.
Oh no.
Maybe Cash Patel have a couple shots, go in, you party with him.
No, Cash will turn it into a scorpion bowl. You're just like pouring the tequila in there with a big straw. Go Cash. I love it when our FBI director, give me so much confidence to see our FBI director hammered in the locker room with a hockey team after a sporting event. I think there's so many crimes to solve and stuff to do that at least we know that he's getting hammered over the weekend, and then taking pictures and putting it out like publicly. That makes you even more confident. Cash Patel.
But all kidding aside, that's quite a not so shocking amount of hubris on Trump's part to want this to happen, because from what I understand, nobody else really does that. No other world leaders, when they're hosting it, want to insert themselves in like that. That would be just rude and stupid.
Yeah, Iran has played well. They played really well. Very respectable showing from the Iranians, making them stay in Mexico, denying the players visas. It's just disgusting. Anyway, making them stay in Tijuana. But guess what? The Mexicans love them. They got fans galore in Mexico, of course, because the Mexicans love the underdog.
He was also telling us that FIFA, the organization, actually changed the rules so that Trump could do that. Like the CEO of FIFA doesn't even go out and handle the trophy, they'll take pictures after, but we're talking, breaking years and years of tradition, changing rules so that Zion Dawn can hold the cup with the winning team.
Zion Don needs a new bowel room to welcome Bao ZBB Netanyahu next time he comes to lay down the law at Congress. Yes, there's nothing like having a foreign leader coming in to address your Congress. It's that's it's a very American thing, isn't it?
It's also
Especially-
the only time every member shows up. It's also one of the only times every member gives a standing ovation up to 42 times in 15-minute speeches. Really makes you wonder.
Look at this for a long name. It's like Rumpelstiltskin, John Jacob Jingle Heimer Schmee. Could be
John
Schmidt.
Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. Remember, like the kids' song?
Heimer Schmidt. Oh, okay, that's it. Is that a song? Wow. 3857. Politics is the
Don't make me
entertainment.
sing it.
Frank Zappa, a wise man. Politics is the entertainment division of the military-industrial complex. That says Frank Zappa. Absolutely. Good quote. Good find. Wow. Iran versus Belgium. Yes, Belgique. It's the European Chanel 3202. I will be watching FIFA today for the Iran Belgique, or that'd be BEL Gique would be GIQUE Belgique. No, just Belgium. It could be a Balkan spelling there. I'm not sure where she's from, but yeah, that's right. It's all coming out. Obviously, the files can't keep tamped down. Any Epstein files, still clamoring for the Epstein files. Joe Rogan was effing and blinding on his podcast. He said, where are the effing Epstein files? They're losing it. Why are these names redacted? Hello, Joe. Why are there redactions? Yeah, that's right.
I'm curious, you guys. Quick survey for the crowd here. Ruckus didn't see the new Comfortably Numb. I didn't see it. Patrick didn't see it.
Nope.
Did any of you see it in your social media feeds? Was it promoted to you? If it was promoted to you, put a 1 in. If you got nothing and you didn't even know it was out there, put a 0 in the chat. I want to see maybe if we just are, have a custom shadow bans and visibility filters, or if none of us were informed. Because shout out to my friend Michael K. He put it up on his Facebook account like 24 hours, 36 hours ago, right after it came out. And he looked at his stats on it. Not one view, not one public view, not one friend view, nothing showed up nowhere. Okay, I see a lot of zeros coming in on a couple ones, maybe just one.
See, this is Lisa Mojica here. I'm not sure. Last of the Mohicans. Love the subtle racism when someone says Tijuana. What are you talking about?
I don't understand that one.
We love Tijuana.
I'm curious. I'd like to know more. I don't want to say it wrong. I mean,
we love Tijuana. Tijuana. Did I pronounce it wrong, or
it could be a pronunciation thing?
I guess it's like the idea of the Iranians having to stay in Tijuana. Look, I'm sure Tijuana is a wonderful place. Despite people getting drugged in bars and then waking up in an empty hotel room with one of their kidneys missing in the morning. Besides that, it's a wonderful place. But it's not San Diego or Los Angeles. It's not in America. America's hosting the World Cup. So, the teams that are playing in America should stay in America. Obviously, Mexico's, it's not as nice, like from a commercial material point of view, but it's a nice country and the people are lovely. But that's, we're just trying to make a point. Tijuana has a reputation. I did not give it that reputation. Am I wrong? Hesher's from California.
It earned its reputation.
It has a reputation. I'm sorry. We don't make history.
There's a good chance that Jared and Ivanka will not be discovering islands in that region.
Yeah, probably. We have locales here in the lower 48 that are arguably worse, so it's really...
Yes, we were on our friend's yacht, and in the what was it, the Gulf of California? What's the one there? Is that where Baja is? The Gulf of Baja, I think it's called.
Yeah.
we were on our friend's yacht in the Gulf of Baja, and we saw this. We discovered this beach with all these wild packs of dogs running around, and people with coolers full of Corona and sleeping on hammocks. And we thought, we've discovered this, feral natives. Most of them are probably stoners.
Way less dirty needles than on the Santa Cruz beach. So, it's great.
And we thought, let's go for a hike. And we went barefoot, and there was a lot of broken glass on the beach, but we didn't cut our feet. And by the time we got to the top, we thought, well, I think we should buy this. Let's just buy San Felipe. Let's just buy it.
It comes pre-stocked with little kids selling chiclets and all kind of cool stuff.
Yeah, and they came up in the morning with beautiful jewelry and silver and Mexican silver and abalone shells. It was lovely. I was so taken by it. We decided to buy it. Oh, how the other half live. Okay, let's get off that now. What's this? FIFA is truly corrupt, like everything. They're particularly corrupt in FIFA. The men at FIFA is a lot of old men, and they have a penchant for brown paper bags or brown envelopes, let's say. Let's just put it that way. Yes, sir. We're getting some action here. I saw a yellow sticker somewhere. I'm going to feature that. What's this? Jaw Tutor 3184, $5. Thank you very much. American dollars. Nice. PH, can you play Foreseer for me? U.S. Relations, LATAM, LATAM. Is that Latin America? I'm not sure what he means there. What is the economic future of Central and South Americas? Will the Donroe Doctrine reign? I don't think so. I think the Donroe Doctrine caught some people by surprise. I think they threatened Venezuela with some carnage, and they intimidated the Venezuelan government or persons within it to play along to save lives. That was a sales pitch as far as I can tell. But that's not gonna endure. There's people U.S. coming in and stealing oil and stuff like that. It's not going to make a country richer. It's going to make it poor. That's going to increase the wealth gap. It means that people are going to be angry. It's going to fuel the Chavista movement in Venezuela, and then installing a fake right-wing government in Bolivia and oppressing the natives. That's going to fuel more Chavista activity in South America, and you're just going to see a backlash. So sorry, guys. You are literally, by doing what you're doing in Cuba, in Bolivia, in Venezuela, you are absolutely legitimizing and fueling a massive left-wing resurgence. Massive. And you will not be able to stop it. That's what you're doing. Good luck. Good luck with it. Pay attention to history, because this happens all the time. That's what I'll say to the hawks, to the CIA crowd, to the neocons, to the Donroe Doctrine cheering section. Anyway, they'll probably even flip the government in Chile at some point after that. I mean, good luck. Anyway.
Can I piggyback an extra question on top of that, since you believe
absolutely.
that? Well, because a lot of us are familiar with this plan about the Technocracy Inc. and a lot of these doctrines and moves, and including up north, the Greenland stuff, fits into this pattern of the greater North American plan. Without Donnie Dumbass and his doctrine, how could things shape to move that forward on behalf of the billionaire class like Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, and whatnot?
It depends. If they can put their people in power, then look, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, these guys, they need government. Elon Musk he's made all his money off government. The whole SpaceX, listen, if we really wanted to break it down and go just show you what a scam this is the most overvalued company in the history of the universe. Okay, it's a bubble waiting to pop. There's nothing behind it. They'll never make any sales to recoup the valuation of that company. So the stock price is destined to just basically collapse at some point. Tesla will collapse, I predict, before February. Tesla so overvalued. It's unbelievable. It's all publicity hype. That's Elon's game. SpaceX. I mean, what's he going to sell? Mars rocks? Well, you got to get to Mars first. And, this guy made everybody think at the inauguration that we're going to Mars during the Trump administration, and the Elon was cutting spending on Doge to save money for the Mars mission. That's what a lot of these. They all ran out and bought Cybertrucks. Just like all the left went out and bought Teslas. 10 years ago. All the right went out and bought Cybertrucks because Elon was on our team now. But so yeah, I think the Greenland thing, that's part of that agenda. But again, they need the government to do the strong arming on that, to take it. So that's Ronald Lauder. That's there's a geopolitical thing to that as well. They want to close up the Arctic and the northern passages to prevent China and Russia from trading through there. They just want to make it impossible, long-term, low-intensity conflict, making shipping and trade difficult and block. They're still playing that game. Now, is it going to work? Is it a winning gambit? I don't know. Some say yes. Some say they're going to try. Others are going to say it's a waste of time and energy, and ultimately it's bankrupting the U.S. But do these people care about being bankrupted at this point? I don't think so. They can just keep printing money. $40 trillion in debt by January. Like, why not do another 10 trillion in the next 2 years? That's what they think. We're the ones who are going to hold the can. They got their money in gold and other assets. So even if the dollar crashes, these people already own everything.
I guess wouldn't it be convenient for the billionaire class that want to rule the world if they could just do away with the governments entirely, cut them out, as it were? I mean, wouldn't they love for that to happen, right?
Well, that's the argument they're making, is that government's fallible, people are too fallible, and we need AIs, and we need AI to run the government because the AI is infallible. It's more intelligent, doesn't make mistakes, doesn't take naps, doesn't sleep at night. So, like, what do you got there? That's that scene out of Buck Rogers. That's the Council of Elders, Dr. Theopolis. Well, Buck, the computer says, no, the bunch of AIs. That's the Council of Elders. That's why I said I did an AI speech for Ian Crane in London in 2018, and I predicted that the future will be competing AIs will be running for president, each with a corporation behind them. It'll be like Sam Altman's president, and the Elon's got his. Be battling it out. Which one's the best? Which one's more efficient? Maybe in the form of a robot, maybe not. But who needs politicians? There will be no corruption. Everything transparent, blockchain, right? And we'll all go for it. We've had so much corruption's at such an all-time high. This will be the solution. Elon, Peter, have their solution. Computer, run the country for us. Run our economy. You'll do it perfectly, won't you? Yes, perfect. We'll manage it. Don't worry. Got the robots. Got the AI. This is how they're thinking. That's how they and Yuval Harari and all the other sort of, religious clerics that they have, the Church of the Technocracy. This is how this is what they think. Solution for everything. Yeah, we don't need humans to do anything. Well, if they don't need us to do anything, then they don't need us. Full stop. 2 choices: camp or Soylent Green. What's this? That looks like a fancy dress party.
That's the new promo for Peter Thiel's little dinner cocktail workshop party thing that he runs there, Dialogue.
Oh, the dialogue. Yeah, let's talk about the dialogue. Now that you brought up the subject, tell us about this. What about the dialogue?
Well, I would, but it's a secret, and I'm not invited. It's a big club, and I'm certainly not in it. But yeah, that's very fascinating. We actually talked about this for quite a while in the most recent Boiler Room. Correct, Hesher?
Yeah, we did. It's quite the cast of characters that are part of the dialogue. You've got senators, you've got captains of industry, you've got PayPal mafia, you've got other politicians, some famous people, some Hollywood types, some random CEOs from companies you've never heard of. It's a very, very long and exclusive list, and they
Tulsi Gabbard. Oh, sorry.
Tulsi part of it.
Is she
And
on it?
yeah,
No
Ted
kidding.
Cruz, Tulsi Gabbard. I mean, some big names, and it's been around for like 20 years or something like that. Go figure.
Wow, I didn't. So it's very similar in terms of Bilderberg. But did you see they had the singles? The what do you call it, dating service or whatever. If you're looking for another person to share your bunker in World War III, did you see that at a seminar called "How to Survive World War III"? What the f?
Yes, yes. Some of their seminar titles were just fun, just good fun. Like, wow, I wonder what you guys do in that little breakout room. Talk about World War III, like in a little secret society, huh? Okay, it's like festival season for these ghouls. I think that we probably shouldn't think too much of this. This is just yet another iteration of some nerdy secret society of wannabe Blofeld, but really they're just blowhards with too much money and too many CIA buddies and too many Mossad buddies, too many friends of Jeffrey buddies. Just those guys. They like to do the circuit. I like to go to music festivals. They like to go to secret societies and do whatever circle jerky stuff they do there, planning our demise and planning their survival through World War III. Nothing about stopping World War III. You would think the luminaries and CEOs that are all about social justice would want to let's get together, guys, and figure out how we can stop hunger. Let's get together and figure out how we can stop World War III from happening. Like, let's get together and figure out how we can make sure everybody's fed and has water and that everybody's political and religious views are not so angry at each other. That's not what they're doing at all. It's the exact polar opposite of all that.
Okay. So the problem is the head of NATO Supreme Command is there along with Driscoll. So all the military are there, and then all the guys producing all the AI and the drones who get, and then the politicians are there. Ted Cruz is there. So the people giving the contracts are there. The military's there who are doing the procurement. And then the guys making the products are there. And Elon. And Joe Lonsdale and all these guys. So that's the whole business loop for World War III.
Yeah. And the guys that write the policy and the scripts for how they're going to polarize everybody and how they're going to isolate people and all that stuff, all that fun stuff.
And they had a conference or a workshop called Build a Cult, how to build a cult.
What?
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
How to build a cult.
I wonder, I think we should stop and think about that, because from their perspective, like, we have to think about that title from their perspective. Who are they trying to say are cult leaders right now? They're almost trying to say that, like, the CIA level podcast people are cult leaders or something like that in some of the mainstream news. Like, which cult are we talking about? Because, I mean, they're essentially been unveiled as their own little cult. So is this like, hey, this is how we built this cool cult? We can talk about how they built, all these other little secret society cults. We want to know about the history of the CFR or the Bilderberg Group, or I don't know, the Rosicrucians. Like, we could go way back if you want. Like, so many successful cults have been built that have played into laying the wretched path that we are currently on.
Thiel and Karp have a special service anniversary gift. It's not a clock, but it does have all those letters, but an L.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think those gifts get exchanged in a large dome tent in Burning Man.
No, I think at the dialogue, probably. I mean, like, who knows what the extracurricular activities are there. But Eric Trump caught trying to guarantee sports bets at the cage match. Guys, the cage match. We haven't talked about the cage match.
Or the motorcycles.
Evel Knievel. I was just so naff when I saw the bikes going over. But Trump's probably like, look at them, the beautiful bikes. tremendous,
higher than all the other bikes.
tremendous riders, tremendous. It's like Evil Knievel. Evil Knievel broke every bone in his body except one. It's just it's what we were talking about before. I mean, I don't bring this up for nothing. We don't flash that up for nothing. That's kind of what the UFC thing reminded us of a little bit. It's a little bit of a tacky spectacle. I don't want to see a UFC fight on the White House lawn. Excuse me. You guys are burning $1.7 trillion on your new military budget. F off. No fights. Let Dana White do that at the local arena or whatever, not on the White House lawn. But having said that, now we're on the topic, and yeah, Eric Trump was fishing for some inside action on that, so he got caught out with that. But this is the thing, guys. I don't have I'll bring up a UFC image in a minute, but it's. Here we go. Ruckus has got something going on here. Who's that? Is that Randy Macho Man Savage or?
No, this is the winner of the match with Joe Rogan at one of the most viral moments when the gentleman that you see in the picture there, the fighter, said something, yada, yada, yada. Also, Michelle Obama is a man.
Okay, but he got that from Joan Rivers.
Yes, that's what he did.
It's so funny with the Michelle Obama thing. I always, especially people in Britain, kind of think that Joan Rivers is like a person of status and weight because she was completely trolleyed, and she made this comment to somebody about a press. It was on Fifth Avenue in New York, something about Michelle Obama being a man.
Does that mean drunk, trolleyed?
Yes.
Okay.
Trolleyed. And that's not counting the tranquilizers and the other pills, but and then people say, well, but Joan Rivers said, and I was like, wait, hold him. When is Joan Rivers an authority on anything? And I mean, at that point, she was 78, slightly absent-minded, probably drunk with tranquilizer pills, literally washing down pills with whiskey or whatever. But it's so funny that's the sole provenance of the claim that Michelle Obama is man. There's a bunch of photoshopped images where it was Barack and Michelle when they're younger, wearing like jean jackets or whatever, and they totally photoshopped Michelle Obama to make it look like short hair, like a man. And you find it's very quick to find the original image, and it doesn't look like that at all. So people are circulating viral photoshopped images, and the problem with that is it's not going to get you any closer to reality, folks. That's the problem. And, you might be able to kind of indulge in those. And it's fun. It's funny to a certain degree for some people. But when you actually believe this stuff, then you got a problem. I think I'm just saying. But I just thought I'd bring that up. That's one of I run into people all the time and affected by the internet in the weirdest and most profound ways. I won't bring this UFC thing up, but yeah, the UFC thing. Trump fell asleep during the fight. Did you guys see that? Oh, hold on.
He always looks like he's sleeping when he's sitting down lately. It's hard for me to tell. It's like his eyes don't open all the way anymore or something. I definitely saw him sleeping at the Knicks game, though. My goodness.
No, he fell asleep at his own little 80th birthday UFC fight thing there or whatever.
Yeah.
Zuckerberg went to the fight.
Was he hoping
what
to?
Happened there? Weren't we supposed to see one between him and Elon? Right?
Yeah, I was going to say, were they going to have a spontaneous? Was he hoping for a spontaneous throwdown with Elon?
Yeah, that never happened, did it?
No.
Oh, and then of course the other thing, the other one who was banned from showed up, and then he was dragged out in handcuffs or something. That was cool.
Who made the challenge between Elon and Zuckerberg? It was probably Elon, wasn't it? He always backs out of things. He's like the master of like.
Didn't he do a poll thing? He's like, "Should I fight Zuck?" And everyone was like, "Yes" or something.
Yeah, and he didn't do it because he was too lazy to do the training. He thought he could take a pill or get an injection and just like be sort of superhuman.
Oh,
But,
by the way, from the people that responded to our survey there of whether they saw Roger Waters' new video there on their social media feeds that he did with Mona Miari, we had 6 people say yes, they saw it in their feed, and we had over 22 say no, they did not see it.
so many haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, from that small sample space, I would guess, most people have not seen it.
Well, if you follow Roger's, social media, you probably would have seen it.
I will
but-
admit I had not clicked follow on him until I went and looked, and he posted it 4 days ago on the 17th. It was released, so it's been out 4 days, and I haven't seen anybody repost it. People that I know would enjoy it. I haven't seen repost it, so maybe we can push it. I just posted it. I posted it on my X. Go to @Hesher HESHER Media. Hesher Media, and repost it. See if we can't boost it a little bit, everybody. And also like this stream, by the way. Speaking of boosting people, make sure you like and subscribe and do all that stuff on this stream. We've got a good crowd today. So if you're on Rumble or YouTube or X or whatever, give us the follow, the subscribe, the bell, and the comment and all that stuff. And thanks everybody that replied to the survey there.
Yes. So thank you, everybody, and thanks for doing that survey, which we call a straw poll.
Yes.
Which we call a straw poll. Some might call it a straw poll. UFC fight, guys. You know what was weird about this? And it's just my observation. Okay. Beside the fact that it's tacky and all that, it's totally camp. This is like a level of campness. I mean, Biden did all the LGBT stuff on the White House lawn. That was bad. Like topless trans people running around, male and female, is just disgusting. That was a low point for the White House. I'm sure Trump was trying to reverse that here with this kind of OTT display of testosterone. But this isn't real testosterone, if you know what I mean. Like it's not gritty American. It's not Lubbock, Texas, is it? This is something else.
Yeah, it's something else.
I think personally, I'm going to say this is completely camp. And I don't want to say gay, but, it is Pride Month. So I don't know if that's a coincidence or not. But, when I see things like this, and I'm just going to say something, I'm sure it's going to be controversial and I'm going to accused of being TDS. But there is a type of homoerotic type of undertone to this administration that's kind of weird. I don't know if anyone's noticed it, but I've seen it too many times. And this again, Dana White wearing this. He's wearing he doesn't even have proper shoes on, but I guess that means he's cool because he's casualing it up with the shoes. But it's trying hard to show that you're alpha. And then throwing money at it. I mean, who's paying for this? I'm not sure. It's not the U.S. taxpayer, is it? I hope not. But it's just basically a couple of old boomers here. There's nothing alpha about that. Again, it's boomer. It's like, yep, an 80-year-old president with his 70-year-old boxing promoter. Alpha. So great. Is that the future of our country, right? No, I don't think so. So, and UFC is basically run by Zionists. It's like Ari Gold or whatever, Entourage, Ari Emanuel, and all th's guys. It's the mafia, like everything in the entertainment industry, but completely commercialized. Not what it started out being when it started, maybe 30 years ago or whatever. And it's just they try everything has to be like over the top testosterone alpha to the point where it's like, why are you trying so hard? Why do you have to make this statement? And I'm thinking to myself, with Trump's weird. Jelani comes in, invites a terrorist into the White House. He said he's very good looking, very handsome man, very good looking. You're very good looking. You're very well built. And I'm like, Donald, just lay off on that a little bit. It's a bit creepy. And he does this with the UFC fighters. He went up to one of them. He puts his hand on the side of his head, his neck, and said, "You're a fine young specimen." And it's weird. Do you find that strange? It's not the type of thing, but there's a whole highlight clip of this. And I'm thinking to myself, what's going on there? That's weird. I find it strange.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot more stuff like that lately. Someone even did a pretty exhaustive blog post or article recently, kind of cataloging a lot of that stuff. And, they went so far as to, ask some questions about, the man's actual proclivities and if they might not be pointing in a different direction than most of the country might think. And it was like, it was pretty bold, I remember thinking it was pretty bold, but yeah, why is Trump? That was one of the bullet points in there. It was actually one of the more easily dismissible bullet points in there, because there were some that were like, okay, that's just uncharacteristic of a heterosexual male, and they just went through it. It was, I'll see if I can find it. I don't have it to hand. I can't give anyone credit for it, but it was sort of one of the things where I was like, okay, when I see these things all stacked up like this, I see why you might be asking the reader if they have questions.
Yeah, because he's too.
The Bubba,
Yeah,
the
go ahead,
Bubba
Ruckus.
rumor. Remember the whole
The what
Bubba
rumor?
thing?
Oh,
The
Bubba.
Yeah,
Oh, you mean
and
Epstein files.
and Clinton. Yeah. Anyway,
Well, Trump's two theme songs are YMCA and In the Navy. Now, you have to understand that the Village People are, just gay icons, basically. So, and he had him playing at his rally, I think one of the campaign rallies, and I'm like,
he still
is
plays
he
it at almost all his rallies. He plays, it's like his theme song, and it is an anthem. And I'm not saying this in a pejorative way. It's well known. That song, like a couple Cher songs and many others, are well known anthems to the LGBTQIA folks.
Yeah, it's they're gay anthems. I mean, it's a gay disco tunes. I mean, they're great tunes. They're popular. They're catchy. Everybody
More
likes
straight
them.
people have danced to them and enjoyed them than gay people, I would argue.
Absolutely, absolutely. However, but then In the Navy as well. I mean, that's two Village People theme songs. I mean, at some point, it's a bit much. There he is with the Village People. Yeah. I mean, Trump, come on, explain yourself. So you got this, and then you've got this. Guys, square the circle for me, please. I'm struggling.
and I heard that at his little birthday party there, they were playing "It's Raining Men." No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, Donald. Yeah, the Chippendales will come out, and Donald will be all the fine-looking young specimens. Creepy.
Yeah, at least Joe Biden would just blow in your kids' ears. This guy, you don't know what he's doing.
What an absolute creep. Yeah, I mean, it's just weird. And I was thinking, I remember see those old pictures of, he used to go to these like Roman orgy type themed parties. He was dressed as a Roman soldier with Roy Cohn, his sort of gay mafia lawyer, ruthless Jewish gay mafia lawyer. And I'm like thinking to myself, that was a young Trump. That was his mentor. These parties, I don't know. Anyway.
A crazy connection to the modeling industry too, like so many connections to the modeling industry. And by the way, those are all like 0.1 degree away from Friends of Jeffrey units and stuff like that. Like, you read stories, there's so many autobiographies and stories and documentaries about modeling and all that kind of stuff. You can, why, and look at this guy's career. It's just like, given a batch of money, real estate deals, mob-esque, mob-adjacent deals, and then pretty girl, Miss Universe stuff, and then reality TV. It's just like this guy can be anything he wants to be, or with the right team around him, he can be shaped into whatever he needs to be. I think, that might be one of the reasons why he was, not to use a colored term, but many people would argue groomed for this position. Like there's a lot of a lot of revelation of the method and predictive programming that Donald Trump would be the president throughout much of his life, and then we have the weird case of some of these books that were written in like the 1930s talking about Baron Trump traveling time and all this weird stuff. Like probably just a coincidence. We don't need to go, that tinfoil hattie, but still, like, just in mainstream media and in his personal narrative, like, just look at how many chameleon shifts this guy has had, as far as the branding and the presentation, but then look at the actions in all of those different positions and then throw them up against the timeline that was produced about, Jeffrey and all that. And it just begs a lot of questions.
Well, Huffman Aviation 7341 saying gayest admin ever. No, many have said it is. When you got Scott Bessent there, who is absolutely flaming. George Soros' banker. I mean, think about it, guys. Trump's against the globalists, right? George Soros' banker, absolutely flaming. And then you've got, you've got Rick Grinnell. That's one of his top operatives. And there's others. Who else is in there? I'm not sure. Well, Lindsey Graham is like directing his foreign policy half the time. I mean, so there's a big LGBT.
Plus the billionaire class that he's embedded himself so close
let's
to.
not forget all those CEOs he's surrounded by.
I didn't even mention Thiel. Yeah. I mean, there he is. I
don't have a picture of his husband. Sorry, but
so
I think what Huffman's saying, I think I've read this before, that the current administration does have the most openly gay people as members or close to it, which is weird because they're Republican. You would think that would happen under like the Democrats. They were like all about that stuff, right? They would have been.
It's not very alpha, is it? Like that with MAGA, but then a lot of these conservative influencers, there's a lot of the top guys sometimes are gay, and then Barry Weiss, his biggest defender, lesbian, Zionist lesbian. Dave Rubin is another one. They're all in the tank for Trump and Israel, and so this is kind of weird. Anyway,
yeah, I can't speak for Huffman, but I think he's saying a fact. I think it's kind of been documented what you guys are saying here. It's not pejorative or anything like that. It's just a statement of fact, and I don't think it's a fact that many conservative voters were expecting. And it's like, wait a minute, what? Because they were they're the evangelical class, right? I mean, that's part of the whole campaigning for the GOP is to be part of the evangelical class, and there's a portion of the nation that hold religious views that are accepting of that, but there's a large portion of that voting bloc that does not really accept that lifestyle and would maybe have thought twice if they would have known that X percentage of this administration was going to be of that lifestyle. And I don't, I'm not defending that mindset or anything like that. I'm just saying it is what it is, and that voters ideally should have facts about who they're voting for.
Yeah, I know. And usually with the conservatives, they'll they'll sort of embrace minorities or gay or black or whatever, and they'll use them as weapons against the left, basically saying, look, we've got ours. And they use them as a sort of, spear or whatever to poke and beat their opposition, the woke opposition, right? But I don't know. It's just when you say PayPal mafia with Theo, for instance, I mean, there's that mafia. There's another mafia as well, which, is it that mafia? Is it the GAY mafia? Is it the PayPal mafia? It's just weird. It's not exactly alpha, is what I'm saying.
No, and you're right about the way GOP uses people like that. I watched Spore and I sat down and we watched a rare full episode of Candace Owens, but we watched it because Anna Kasparian was on with her, and they were actually talking. Anna asked her, she said, "Do you ever feel like you were, used by that party. And she was like, oh, every day, I'm paraphrasing for her. I don't want to step on her words. She'd probably come at me with a receipt, but essentially she was like, yeah, everybody loved me until I spoke out against genocide. And then all of a sudden I was Hitler. It was like I went from the sharpest tool in their GOP political right versus left bag over there, and then completely fired and then called literally Hitler for pointing out the genocide was happening.
Yeah, because that's the red line, isn't it? That issue. That's the enforceable red line right there. That issue. So yeah, there's like people are kind of, oh, here we go. Kurt Boss, easy now. Easy now, Tiger. Easy. Here, I want to say half or more of the MAGA influencers are closeted. Oh, he's naming out names. I don't know if these are all correct here. Benny Johnson, Jack Posobiec, Nick Fuentes. No, Jack's married. He's got kids. He's Polish Catholic. He's pretty straight down the line there. But and Benny's married with kids as well. But he's a bit creepy. He looks like someone out of the perfect sort of like surreal kind of dystopic movie of the perfect house and the white picket fence, and then
like he
not real.
He probably lives next to Ben Swan in that reality.
No, Ben's much more edgy. Ben's like Ben kind of he's looking like Mickey Rourke these days.
Yeah, he is. He's getting swole, that's for sure.
But he's he's still a bit Ben's a bit unconventional, especially because of the topics that he covers. But Benny Johnson is just a shill.
Oh yeah, and I'm not comparing them in analysis format whatsoever.
But it's kind of creepy. It's like a kind of a weird kind of Stepford Wives type reality of in 2026 version, obviously. Nick Fuentes. Now a lot of accusations are that Nick is, that yeah. And
that might be Milo's doing as well. Milo
did he take Nick under his wing?
Well, interesting character, obviously, and Milo has no problem spilling everybody's dirty laundry, and he does it in a way where it's like he says what he has witnessed, and he says it out loud on camera in public, and yeah, it was Milo and Nick that were with Ye when Ye showed up on Alex Jones right after Elon bought it. So there was a whole little party tour of those guys going around and doing the net and the Yahoo bit and the Ye and the mask thing. That was that was a big moment for me, because that was when we all started to go, oh wow, we're all going to start talking about this and not get our accounts deleted. Like this show that we just did, we would not have been able to do this before Fuentes, Ye, Milo, those guys, and showed up with Alex Jones on X. Like that was literally the moment that the window opened for all the discussions that we have had since then. So
absolutely,
the fact that he was central in that, and the fact that he was central in the fracturing of the MAGA movement, could be organic, could be, led around by a leash, not knowing it, could be in on it. I have no idea, but something to me seems very poignant and off about that moment. Yeah, put Ruckus back up on.
I'll go back Ruckus. Yeah, there we go. Remember that.
There's Ye for our audio listeners. Picture of Ye with the mask on, and he's holding
the fly swatter.
Fly swatter. It's like a fish net, I think, actually. Dead fish out with, and he had a Yahoo with him, and he was criticizing Israel, just lampooning them on Alex Jones.
Yep. So ballsy, like, because you couldn't get nailed as long as you have the thing on, because you could always claim it wasn't you. So legally they can't touch him or anything like that. But
I was doing some weird, like, part of his clothing line thing. What was that? Balenciaga? Is that it, Hesher?
Well, Balenciaga is one of those luxury brands that is closely attached to high-end, buyers, people like Ye and those that roll hard, roll heavy. And they were if I recall, they were caught up in a pretty nasty scandal. Not near as nasty as some of these other things, but yeah, they were putting out marketing material that that made people think that the artist and photographer and set designers were glorifying pedoism. I'll put it that way. There were books on the table and art on the wall that were sort of nods to really gross things. So, and they had big contracts and influencers like Ye and other sports people and stuff, and they basically got called Satan. This was before. If I'm correct, I think it was before the whole Epstein thing kind of became mainstream. So it was just kind of like a.
But according to the timeline, it was not before, yet it was after the creation of Peter Thiel's Secret Society Dialogue. So maybe
Correct.
They met together at their Build a Cult workshop and did this whole plan there, Hesher, over a drink or two.
Build a drone, build a robot. Sebastian Gorka talks like he's an Eton boy. He's actually Hungarian. He's not British, but he puts on a heavy sort of world's most interesting man, heavy British sort of accent. He's an absolute clown, Sebastian Gorka, I can tell you right now. UN rep is gay. Mike Waltz. A lot of people say he looks after himself a little too well. And a lot of people think he's flaming. I think they're correct, personally. Mike Waltz, I think, yeah, the UN rep, he a complete Israeli puppet. He seems like he is absolutely on fire. He's an inferno, Mike Waltz. A little bit strange. And people say, well, he's married, he's got a wife. Yeah. It's Washington, folks. That's how that works. Have you heard of arranged marriages? It's a lot of that in Washington and in Hollywood. Can we all agree that happens in Hollywood? Is anybody going to disagree with that?
Everybody, we forget.
Washington is just like Hollywood, just they're slightly uglier. That's it. These are just vicious rumors flying around. We're not going to give any credence to any of this stuff. We're not going to endorse any of these vicious rumors coming around. Look at the slop that's coming in the comments now. We've really lowered the bar here. Melania just bought a womb and trophy wife. I wouldn't be surprised if Barron was a test tube baby. If he was, he's the world's biggest test tube baby ever.
Yeah, I think they got a hold of some Nephilim DNA.
He's like 6'10".
This is a legitimate conspiracy theory.
And he can't play basketball, that's tragic, actually.
Melania might be trans. I've seen a lot of that in various conspiracy theory circles.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's in there. So anyway, yeah, look at this. I mean, the comments are just coming in here. There's a lot of very based comments, and some of them just outright just crazy. I mean, Erica Kirk. I'm not going to get into Erica Kirk.
We don't need to. I think she's done. Her whole personality career, her whole brand is just shot. I think they're going to exit her quietly stage left. I don't know what's going to become of this rancid TPUSA wart on the internet, but I don't think anybody is unfortunately, some people are still watching it, but
my cat is more qualified to run the country.
Yeah.
Agree or disagree? Probably. Many gays with beards. What is that supposed to mean? Is that a thing?
A beard is a wife that a gay man has that is basically a cover.
Yeah. See, this might seem like an epithet here, but it's actually true. Tel Aviv boasts as the gayest city in the world. Israel.
Oh, I just saw Michael Rappaport, actually. Yay, Michael Rappaport. I saw him doing a selfie phone video from Israel, and he's walking down the street in Tel Aviv, and he's talking about how great Israel is, and he's showing you this by showing you how many sex shops they have.
Oh, really?
Bars. and LGBTQ stuff. Like he's just going around like, this is the greatest place in the world. Look how gay it is. Like they got this gay thing and this gay thing and this degenerate thing.
Mike Huckabee, the ambassador, is supposed to be the pious evangelical Christian
Rappaport,
and
not Huckabee.
the moral majority and all this stuff.
No,
Rappaport.
not Huckabee.
No, I'm just saying Huckabee is the ambassador, not
okay.
Rappaport.
Gotcha.
And he's supposed to be Mr. Piety, representing the Christian right. And Israel's the most moral country in the world, most moral army in the world. But Tel Aviv is a cesspool. It's a cesspool of vice, basically, and it's commercialized. And they get tourists coming for just that. So explain to us, Mr. Ambassador, who's a clown. I mean, I've never seen an ambassador shill so hard for the country they're serving in. It's kind of weird. Aren't you supposed to be like representing American interests? You got to have like at least some objective distance to pretend that you're doing your job, right? But that's I say to Huckabee, just burn your American passport and like get an Israeli one, just because we don't want you back. You're an absolute traitor. Talk about, I mean, he's about as guilty of treason as any public official that's ever served. He said in a speech last week, U.S. would not exist without Israel. We owe our existence to Israel. What the hell is he talking about?
How does that? I wanted to stop him and just say, how? What can you explain? Please pause and explain this statement to me. Please, I'm stupid.
What's the rationale behind? Yeah, exactly. Just explain it to me. Make us understand. Help us understand.
The other one I want explaining for is the pundits that went on Fox after this was announced that said, we can't have this happen. America can't have this happen. You can't sign this deal. You have to continue the Iran war. And I'm like, how? What are you expecting to happen? Are you advocating for the use of thermonuclear ballistic missiles? I mean, how are you going to win it? You've not accomplished one of the goals set forth. What do you mean you don't want it to stop? What do you tell me something, Mr. General pundit on Fox? Criticizing Trump, Mr. MAGA, criticizing Trump, and you want the war to continue with what? What's the plan? You want to take Park Island?
Yeah, who was that? Kellogg or Keene or one of those?
Yeah, one of those K guys.
Cracker Jack box, cereal box guys.
Ketamine when I'm watching him.
Kellogg's cornflake. I call him cornflake. 10 pounds sterling. Erica cocaine. That's spelled Cockay or Kanye. That's a kind of funny name. It's got 3 different potential meanings in there. 2829. Thank you very much, Erica. Appreciate it. Pound sterling. We like the pound sterling. It's very strong currency. It's a very strong currency. It's very strong. Yeah, you guys, there's so much wisdom going on here in the comment section. Look, we're going to wrap it up. But before we do, I don't want to deprive you guys of basically seeing this comment by Ben Gavir and Fabians. Yeah, that's right. You better believe it. This is Ben Gavir. This is what he says about Trump's peace deal and about a ceasefire in Lebanon. We got subtitles here. And he himself is also a great physical specimen, as you'll see. Definitely chosen. Here he is.
להמשיך לפעול גם בניגוד לעמדה של ארצות הברית, כי אנחנו מדינה עצמאית ואנחנו לא יכולים להפסיק להרוס בתים בדרום לבנון, לא יכולים להפסיק לא לתת לאוכלוסייה בדרום לבנון לחזור. זה מסכן את החיילים שלנו, זה מסכן את התושבים שלנו. אסור לנו לתת להם לחזור לגבולות, לחזור למה שהיה לפני השביעי לעשירי, ואנחנו חייבים להמשיך לשלוט בשטח, גם בניגוד לדעתו של הנשיא טראמפ.
He basically saying we need to destroy all the houses. We can't stop destroying homes in South Lebanon. And he went on to say in another interview that we shouldn't stop until all of Lebanon burns. All of Lebanon burns. This is the security minister here, head of Israeli security. So it's not nobody, but what the Israelis will say in response to this is, oh, he's not he's of no consequence. Nobody takes him seriously in Israel. No, he represents a massive block of extremists that unfortunately make up a good percentage of Israeli politics and society at the moment. Because that's just the way that society is. It's swung so far to the right, even the centrists are extremists. You know, so you've got on the far right, you've got Nazis, and on the center, you've got fascists. So that's how messed up Israel is. But this guy is, to me, the human embodiment of a toxic waste dump. Basically, it's the best thing I can say, the most complimentary thing I can say to him. And no disrespect to the Toxic Avenger, you know,
right?
Respect, Toxie.
Toxie would not let this go down.
The Toxie. No disrespect to the Toxic Avenger, but Ben Gavir is a human toxic waste dump, and he really needs to be put to pasture one way or the other. You know, I would say retire into obscurity, but that's kind of not an issue. You can't be obscure in Israel because it's like the size of a postage stamp. But anyway, that's what you're up against when you're trying to get a deal or a peace deal or trying to de-escalate. You've got to deal with people like this. You know, they're starting to get it. You know, Vance mentioned Ben Gavir and Smotrich. It's a baby step forward, but come on, guys, you know, a little bit late. You already did the war. You guys did the war. But do you see him like pining for recognition? Like, you need to give us credit for this great peace deal. That really annoys me with these people. I'm talking about Vance, you know, not Trump's just Trump, and we know what it is. But Vance is just coming in there like Johnny on the spot now, and he's just trying to like manage all the conversations. You know what worries me about JD Vance? I've never seen anybody that reads Twitter so much and actually gets in threads and responds. I don't know about you. I don't want my vice president or president in threads. I don't.
I don't want them on social media at all after the way they've behaved. I mean, it's not even just those politicians in particular. It's their official accounts, the official accounts, the Truth Social accounts, the White House account, all of the associated accounts, the milieu that they are using for their communication to the American people is malignant. It's nefarious. It's villainous. It's immoral.
Yeah. Listen, you guys, here we go. Oh, have you heard the theory that the Big Mike Obama theory is meant to discredit the testimony that Barack is by? Well, you know, it's politics, guys. Wouldn't put it past them. Wouldn't put it past. That's more plausible maybe than Michelle is a man, obviously. So the first time I've heard the theory, makes sense. That's a very Washington-esque PR move, actually.
Yeah, it's a Damocles move, right? Like it's one of those maneuvers that we will likely, if it were real, we would likely never find out because it's a literal Damocles. It's something held over this person for the rest of their lives, so that, you know, they have to show up and take pictures with all the ex-presidents when the current insane president decides to take a AT Walker from Empire Strikes Back and chop the legs off it and stand it up and say, this is your data center. I mean, presidential library with no documents in it. Have you seen that monstrosity?
No.
Oh, dude, they unveiled the Obama library this week. Is that what they call it, Ruckus?
Nothing in it.
The Obama presidential VIP. What is it called? Something.
It's some ridiculous title. I need to find the picture I have of it.
I don't think it's a library.
It's a repository.
Let me find it. I have it.
Not really the word we want to be using, is it?
You know, it does resemble more of a suppository.
It's just called Presidential Center or something, right?
Okay, here it is. I'll put it on screen for you. There you go. It's beyond weird that the Obama Presidential Center spent $850 million to build something that looks like an all-terrain armored transport from The Empire Strikes Back turned on its side. So this is the
Obama paid for Center. That. Who put the money up for that?
Right? It's awful.
What is it? Is it a wedge?
Yeah, exactly. Like
An $850 million wedge.
yeah, brutalist art, like I think, or brutalist architecture, that kind of style, you know. But just look at this thing. It's like
It's not even brutalist. It's just lame.
it is
It's
really lame.
it's naff.
And they didn't put it in Hawaii. Isn't
Yeah,
that
which
interesting? Every time there's been a center like this for a president, it goes in their home state.
well, yeah. Does Obama have a home state? I mean, are we talking
Well,
about Barry Soetoro, Barack Obama? Who are we talking about?
yeah.
Which one? Maybe it should be in Indonesia. It should be built in Indonesia.
Might fit in better there. I mean,
Oh my goodness.
it's just amazing. Look at this thing. Like, you're going to go visit that? The Obama Presidential Center.
Yeah, that is just not. I've seen better crap than that in new towns built around London. That's an insult right there, says Lumpy 35. Little bit of a cat fight. Vicious commentary from Lumpy.
Yeah, and all the ex-presidents were there and their wives. So there's a picture of all the ex-presidents, but not Trump. Trump was remiss from being there for the opening of this.
I wouldn't go either. I mean, I wouldn't go to the opening of that. It's embarrassing. If you went and just laughed at it, it's just what a waste of money. I mean, how many people could be fed for that? You just don't build it. Just go feed some homeless. I mean, you could have, I don't know, there's too many things you could have done with that money. You know, just use Jimmy Carter's company and build some homes for people or something. It's just ridiculous. Yeah. Hillary. Yeah, we're talking about, it's exactly bringing up all these uncomfortable truths in the comments.
Truth unsocial.
Yeah. Trump wasn't invited. Nope, of course not. Of course he wasn't. Stevenage Town Center. Yeah, that's brutalist. Stevenage, UK. There's some great brutalist architecture in Britain. Stevenage is up there in the top tier there.
We also scraped up some great pictures of some old Nazi bunkers from the 1940s that looked kind of similar to that, built into the side of mountains and stuff. So, you know,
maybe Jared and Ivanka be interested in building a little resort there. Look, Kenya, you guys. We forgot about Kenya. Obama's home state could be Kenya. Depends on who you think the father is. Is it Obama Sr. or is it Frank Marshall Davis? In which case, again, back to Hawaii.
So many questions, so many unanswered questions.
He's got the ears of Frank Marshall Davis.
I thought it was this guy.
I thought it was Thiel. Well, how long has Thiel been alive? 500 years?
No, just the devil. I was meaning the devil.
500 years? How old is he? It's like, the vampire. Yeah, guys. I mean, I think people sort of get it. I'm looking at the comment section. They know how twisted that world is, and really anything's possible with these people. They're all changing their names, so that's funny. We said Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez changed her name. J.D. Vance changed his name. Barack Obama changed his name. Doing a few others. Anna Paulina Luna Meyerhofer changed her name. There's more. We just named a few. There's more. What is it about I mean, imagine that.
What about Nikki Haley? Didn't Nikki Haley change her name too?
Yeah. Nimrata. Her real name is Nimrata, and it's got a kind of Asian last name.
Nimrata Randhawa.
Randhawa. That's it. She changed her name. There's another one.
Bobby Jindal, Ted Cruz. How about that? Gerald Ford, Bill Clinton.
Ted Cruz is a name change, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's see. What was his original?
What's his real name? Fidel.
Born Rafael Edward Cruz.
Rafael. Well, it's got a better ring to it for Texas, but you're gonna have to go blue. Rafael Cruz.
Yeah, he can hang out with Beto.
Democratic senator for Texas. Why not?
Beto again. Beto was his name was Francis.
Another fake name. Beto O'Rourke. Another fake name. So Hollywood does this all the time. Again, Washington is Hollywood for ugly people or strange, degenerate.
They're all pretending to be something else to get you to vote for them. So stop doing that, the voting for them part.
It's a very twisted place, Washington, guys. I mean, in a way, Hollywood's less twisted because it is what it is. You know, it's Hollywood, right? You expect that kind of stuff. But Washington, it's weirder. I'm telling you, it's weirder. If we knew half the stuff, you know, the truth with these people and, you know, this and that, all the fake marriages and everything, our minds would be blown. They keep these kind of internal secrets there as well. Like there's this sort of, don't talk. Yeah, we know about George Bush Sr. and in the thing. And yeah. And he's addicted to we know, but don't, the press, those were the rules in the old days. Everyone knew, but didn't say. All the journalists, everything. It was just, you know, it's the president. The family too, off limits. So in a way, I'm going to say this, it's going to be bad, but I'm going to say it. I actually enjoy listening to the Hunter Biden interviews because the guy, he has hit rock bottom. You got to respect him. He really has hit rock bottom. So there's nothing left anyone can say about Hunter. And he's liberated.
No reputation to worry about at all, huh?
I think it's almost like it's very refreshing, actually, to listen to that guy talk because he has done it. He's been through the ringer. Everyone's seen it all. We've seen the Hunter Biden emails. It's like wild. We've seen him at his absolute worst, and he's just sitting there saying, "Yeah, I know, I fucked up. I
I guess I could thank him. I made a few meals out of that, literally."
I have respect for the guy. He has basically done it. He's gone through the full ringer. He has done it. And he's expended all of the whatever PR steam and stench that you could come off of that. It's done.
So wait, did you watch him be interviewed by Candace? Because I saw a tile with Candace and him, and it just made my brain start vibrating, and I had to click away. I couldn't even do it.
It was a great interview, and then he did a couple more mainstream ones. He did another one as well. He's been on one of the big other podcasts recently, but I think
on the heels of that, real quick, Patrick, he also managed to get his name attached to one of the more recent massive wins for the people's rights concerning the marijuana and the handgun issue because of a Supreme Court case here in Texas. Right, Hesher?
Yeah.
Okay. You're always on Sean Ryan. Now Sean Ryan has swung in an interesting direction in the last couple of months. He's gone full bore anti-Israel, which, you know, he took quite a few knocks at the beginning when his show's getting traction with his CIA targeter and CIA podcast. But, you know, I'll give him some consolation points for bashing Israel. Obviously, it's easy to once Tucker's already beaten the door down and stuff. It's safe for everybody to do that,
right?
You know,
it's like you just look at your metrics on the show and you're going, "Oh wait," and then you look at the metrics on Tucker and Candace's shows and you go, "Oh crap!" And then you see some other podcaster that had never said it before saying it, and you're like, "Oh no, this guy that's biting at my heels is saying it." And I can't help, Patrick. I don't mean to be too black-pilled about this. Credit where credit's due, always, for saying the right thing at the right time. Maybe not necessarily the right time, but at some time in this person's case. But still, it's just like, I can't help but feel like the Overton window was wedged open on purpose with Ye and Fuentes and all that stuff. And I feel like it took this amount of time between that event and right now for CIA podcaster Sean Ryan to say it. And I don't think it's I wish I could believe that it was him evolving and changing his mindset, but I do not believe that for a second about this guy's presentations. I think many of his presentations are fun things for him to do in between the presentations that are highly, highly produced by him and his team. And I suspect that his team is connected to some intelligence levels, because let's face it, he was intelligence. Sarah Adams was intelligence. She is on his staff there. He's been, you know, the Pentagon guy and the CIA guy behind many movies and TV shows. This guy knows a script. This guy knows how to nudge. This guy knows asymmetrical warfare. And we shouldn't forget that. And I appreciate them saying it, but I just don't.
It's like the genocide's done, the wars happened, the economy's tanked. But hey, better late than never.
Right.
Good. Of course, we were there 15 years ago.
Yeah, and you just said it, and you just got 4 million views on that. Like, what's that equal? Because
and all the adulation, like, look what's he saying, look what he's saying. Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
And all these
But
people
hey,
are emboldened to say it now in public, and it's like, oh, okay, I got kicked out of places for saying this 10 years ago, lost friends and family.
But having said that, that's fine. You're pushing Israel over the cliff. I'm not going to get in your way. Go ahead, Sean. Go for it, mate. I'll give you minimal points, because when it was really dangerous to do all that, like we're out here in the wild, we were doing that, and of course, getting our channels canceled, permanently shadow banned still today from those old violations on the legacy platforms. But hey, as they say, as my teacher said when I handed in that essay 2 weeks late and just got whatever, a D minus, better late than never.
This reminds me of the whole health issue thing, right? There were a lot of people who were on the right side of the, being against the pandemic stuff, right? And the lockdowns and even the concept of the disease itself. And now they're all part of that now, and they're getting all the praise for it, right? We saw this same type of phenomenon happen, right? But now we're witnessing that again over the Israel issue.
It's always going to happens every time, Ruckus. Every time, and it's going to continue to happen. That's just the way it is.
Right. So the reason I bring that up is, like anything, even though it's like, oh, this is the one, this is the ultimate final issue in the room. No, never forget that somewhere at the top, somebody or something is still controlling and or writing that show. Everybody's distracted on this. We got to focus on what's going on up there. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
I like that graphic. I was surprised when I saw the hand above when you scrolled it. I wasn't expecting that. That's good. That's a little simple effect, but very, very effective. Soft white underbelly. That's another interview Hunter did. That's an excellent one, actually. I would say, So listen. I'm all for a good comeback story and a resurrection, and like Hunter's definitely qualifies there. So I know it is what it is, but his dad's sort of out of the picture at the moment, as we know, literally.
You think he'll run for president someday? That'd be really
Hunter.
fun.
I don't know. I mean, can't be any worse than what we got right now. And
right?
I used to say, never say that. Never say it can't get worse, because it can. But actually, Hunter probably is not going to be as bad as Trump.
I can't argue.
I know that's a terrible thing for some people to hear, but we believe it's true. We've fed that into our main computer, and the computer says it's likely true. We have our own AI engine here at the Sunday Wire, which we feed things into real time. And we asked it early in the show. Obviously, it's not a public LLM. It's private. It's a seed framework. Yeah, seed framework. And yes, that's right. Hunter Biden, the ultimate redemption story. Hey, man, credit where credit's due. Seriously.
They do like to, re-dip into the family bloodlines, as it were, for presidents, at least in my lifetime.
Yeah. Listen, I got respect for anybody that it was smart enough to sell paintings in order to get, family payoffs by buying art, and it ends up in the Biden coffers. I think that's just genius. I think respect. Because the art world's been doing that for like hundreds of years. It's the biggest scam and money laundering op in the world for the rich and famous. And the Bidens just got set up a little sort of kiosk there in Washington. I mean, it's
so like small too. Like, it seemed so salacious when it was happening, but now you look at it and you look at all the crypto scams and all the other stuff that this administration's doing, and don't even get me started on the wars. And it's like, Wow. At least he's just selling his finger paintings, doing like old school stuff. It's like he's like the analog DJ. These guys are just winging digital bombs at us everywhere.
That's it. 10% for the big guy. You know it.
Oh yeah.
The big guy got his 10%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to buy my art? Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey,
You mean the
everyone should
big
do
guy?
it.
The big guy only wants 10%. I mean, the current big guy, he wants your country. He wants your oil. He wants your infrastructure. He will kidnap your president and parade him through the streets of New York City.
Yeah, George Bush Jr. got into painting afterwards. He was doing watercolors. They weren't very good, and quite a little bit questionable as well. In the David Hockney sense, I was a little bit like, oh, that's weird.
They might go
But
up in value after he passes, perhaps. I don't know.
They could go down.
I mean, someone like Podesta might want to buy them.
Podesta, oof! Don't get into that. The Podesta brothers.
Patrick, before we close out, we have to address the reflecting pool real quick here.
Ooh, I forgot about that. That's
Yeah.
a bit of a debacle. That's
$14
a big
million.
L.
$14 million to paint it blue, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it turned green from algae, which any pool tech could tell you might happen there. And then the president said, pour Brondo and Mountain Dew in the reflecting pool. That will fix the algae. But instead it peeled the paint. So now the paint has all peeled off and the pool is green and slimy.
Yeah, I mean, talk about like a total failure, right? After making such a big show of it. Did you see Howard Lutnick a couple of days later went down there and took a selfie and says, "I'm here in front of the gorgeous pool. President Trump has, the usual sort of kiss ass MAGA slop." So it was so, I don't know, if to bring that tweet up, I saved it. And like a couple of days later, like the whole algae started showing up and then the paint started chipping. And I'm like, this is a disaster. Look at that. It's embarrassing. And Trump's like master builder, isn't he? He did my pool at Mar-a-Lago. He really knows pools. He really does.
It's not your typical swimming pool, first off.
Yeah. Listen, DC is a swamp. It's humid. It's sweaty on a dry day. That's what happens there. It's a swamp.
Ruckus made the very astute point last night in Boiler Room that we didn't really understand what Trump meant when he said he was going to drain the swamp. He was talking about the reflecting pool, and then he was going to refill it and turn it into a new swamp.
Oh, totally. That's just, I mean,
swamps are green and slimy, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's like a deadly backfire right there with this thing. This is bad. And it's like a small job, really, but it's a job you shouldn't have done in the first place.
We should also highlight this guy.
Is that the guy?
This is John J. Caffro, and he's a friend of Trump, I believe. Actually, he is Trump's neighbor at Mar-a-Lago, and he got
qualification for a contract. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and he got a no bid contract for the filtration system on that. And he's been arrested multiple times, shady business deals. He's like not the kind of person you shouldn't give no bid contracts in the first place, but definitely not to people like that.
I'm getting Mike Lindell energy off him. Do you guys feeling that?
Oh yeah.
Kind of like My Pillow. He's just got that sort of cheese. I put him in an infomercial with the sales funnel. What could he sell? What do you think?
He's a longtime Ohio. He looks like a used car salesman. We were commenting last night, but he's a longtime Ohio retail and manufacturing executive who has guided major development projects, including malls and stuff like that, and assets in Florida and West Virginia. And in 21, he pled guilty to bribing former Congressman James Traficant Jr., an Ohio Democrat, and was expected to testify against him. And then in 2020, he pled guilty to a campaign finance crime. So that's our guy that got the no bid contract for the filtration system in the pool.
He looks like his name's in the Epstein files somewhere behind a black bar.
Maybe he was cleaning Epstein's pool because he's down there in Palm Beach, isn't he? Maybe he was Epstein's pool guy. I mean, that would be a coup, wouldn't it? I'll bet it's true.
Yeah. How do you go from campaign finance criminal and mall creator to Trump's neighbor, and then the guy that gets the pool job for the reflecting pool. That's odd.
I mean, I can see him selling some kind of like a cleaning product or something like this.
Yeah.
Take the stains right now. Watch this.
I'll do
Sort
your
of like
kitchen for free.
ShamWow. ShamWow ran for office, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Here in Texas.
Did he win?
I don't know.
He better have won. I would have voted for ShamWow.
I would too if I did
He
that kind
changed
of
his
activity.
name too. Oh, anyway.
His name's not ShamWow? Are you
No,
sure?
apparently not.
Oh, Zempet candidate. No, that's Mike Pompeo. Anyway, that's all we've got time for today, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Oh, Portugal. Are you saying there? Oh, okay. Portugal's going to win. Don't say won past tense because it hasn't happened yet. But if it is, we'll remember that Kitiso Falfone Panze said Portugal was going to win World Cup 2026. So just remember that, folks. Bookmark it. They get all the credit for the prediction. Put your call Basil Valentine. Put a bet on. Not that Basil's laying down action or anything. I did not say that, and it's not true. He's not a bookie.
For Mr. Valentine.
He's not a bookie. Yeah, Carfano was Les Wexner's pool guy as well. Probably. Who knows?
Oh, geez.
Who knows? Who knows? But very trustworthy, very professional. He's a great. He's been treated very badly. He's been treated very badly over the scandal. So that's embarrassing for Trump because he should never insert yourself into something so stupid as president, because if it goes wrong, I'm just saying, he must have bad advisors. Or I mean, look at he's surrounded by the Stephen Millers of the world. They're supposed to protect him from those situations, right?
I think.
Don't know. Anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate everybody in there, especially all the super chats. Amazing. We really appreciate your generosity for the show. And, I'm absolutely humbled by all the stickers and super chats. Amazing. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Hesher and Ruckus. Final announcements of events and goings on before we leave.
Well, we had a boiler room on Friday night. I think I misspoke and said last night earlier, but it was on Friday night. So you can go to our website, alternatecurrentradio.com there, and get caught up on anything you may have missed. Friday's show was called Digital Feudalism, The Rise of the New Empire, and it had myself, Spore, Ruckus, our friend Sam Chaney from Weaponized News, and Mark Anderson, the Truth Hound. That's up at our website, as well as all of the latest from some of our colleagues, which I will let Ruckus speak to. And just thanks for having me, Patrick, and thank you for watching the show out there or listening if you're picking it up on a podcast. Check out Boiler Room if you haven't. You can find us on Rumble under Boiler Room. You can find us on YouTube under Alternate Current Radio, or just go to our website, alternatecurrentradio.com. That'll get you everything you need, all the latest shows, latest Sunday wires. We repost those over here at Alternate Current Radio as well. So we've got a vast archive of analysis, material, entertainment, and shenanigans for you over here at the website. So thanks for having me. And all y'all, don't forget to hit the like button on this. We really need all those that we can get. And I'll look forward to doing this again next week, Patrick.
Thank you. And yes, check out ACR and the Boiler Room for finer podcasting content and a lot of knowledge and wisdom, and really a great community as well. You want to connect with Mindhack 2878, Canadian Looney, another 1699 from Canada. Thank you so much for that sticker. Ruckus, take it away.
Yeah, thanks for having me again. As Hesher said, make sure you check out the website where you will also find the Roundabout Ruckus, which is my podcast bucket for where I make appearances on other people's podcasts right there. But then we've also got our friends and colleagues who do the Mystical American Patriot Society. And somewhere on the website, you can always go to the menu. You will find the Odd Man Out doing his podcast. I forgot. He keeps changing the name of it on me. So it's now called the Odd Man Out podcast, but you may see it listed as the Oddcast. Don't worry. That's where you go. If you want to join our community, make sure you are joining the Discord channel. Not Twitch. I'm so sorry. But on there's a way to join our Discord channel. Also, you'll find out how to hook up with me by checking me out on my X, where you can see that I have something new coming. That's right. I'm going to go ahead and do something else now on top of everything else that I do. It's called the Ruckus Files. So looking forward to doing that. I don't have an official release date yet. Sometime in the next 2 weeks, it'll be a short form kind of content on a YouTube channel style thing, faceless videos with lots of cool, merged together videos and motion graphics and stuff. But it's going to be me behind the scenes doing all the, stuff that I normally do. It's going to be very different and unique, and I hope you guys will like it. So please stay tuned to here and other places to hear more about the official release of the Ruckus Files. And thanks for having me again, Patrick, as usual. Sorry I couldn't make it last week. You guys did a great job, by the way. That was fun to watch, even though I had a screaming migraine headache and I was puking my guts out in a trash can. Y'all helped me through it, and I understand that's how you folks out there feel about the content that we produce. So if you do appreciate what we do, but you can't send us chats, super stickers, and all that stuff, please share the show. Grab the link, send it in an email, get the word out there. That is the most easy and most important and free thing that you can do to help us along. Again, thanks for having me. Don't forget the ultimate thing that I remind everybody to do, courtesy of William Cooper. Rest in peace, good sir. Read everything and listen to everybody. Don't believe anything unless you prove it for yourself using your own research. Thanks again.
And don't eat paint chips. They're not healthy.
Don't eat paint chips.
Another piece of advice there. Thank you very much, Adam Clark, Ruckus, Hesher. You guys take care. Have a productive and fulfilling week ahead. And yes, we'll look with great anticipation to see how some of these narratives unfold in the coming weeks. But take care, everybody. Thank you very much. Really appreciate your participation in today's show, episode 600 of the Sunday Wire. We hope we didn't disappoint. Obviously, something for everybody there. And it's been interesting, but there's more work to do. We'll be cracking at it this week again. So we'll see you on our streams as well. Keep an eye on our YouTube channel for some new uploads this week. There will be some new stuff coming. So we'll look forward to that. Some new walk-in talk videos. We're going to restart some of those. We have a few other ones that we recorded earlier that we haven't released yet. We'll be doing that this week, as well as some other content. So thank you very much. Once again, it's been real. And look, we're able to do what we do because of your support. So if you're able to, if you find it within yourself to support us, go to 21stcenturywire.com, link below in the show description. You'll see the gold button up in the upper left-hand corner, donate here. Click that and you'll see the various options here. We've got every conceivable option to support us by donation. Obviously, we'd love it if you take out a monthly subscription to 21wire.tv. That is just over $5 a month, and that will get you access to our premium content, of which we are in the process of loading up some new stuff, which is coming very soon, which we're working on right now. It'll be any week now, and once it starts flowing, it won't stop. But not only that, it's a way you can just support us on a monthly basis, and that's your commitment to us to keep doing fantastic independent journalism. And the work that we're publishing right now from the likes of Freddie Ponton and others is absolutely outstanding journalism. We didn't feature any of Freddie's articles today in the show, didn't talk about them, but if you just go to the website, you'll see the features section and follow Freddie's work. It's been outstanding journalism and deep research here. And we are investing heavy in the journalistic side at 21stcenturywire.com because we think that's what's needed out there. And we want to be able to produce and create knowledge and have stuff there that will be in the research and knowledge archive for other people to draw off of, including other journalists as well. And we're starting to see people referencing our work now, linking to our work. So that's a good sign that I think we're doing a pretty good job making an impact. And we can't do that without your help. Again, support us at 21st Century Wire. I know you guys, a lot of you guys listening and watching, you love the show, you love this program, the Sunday Wire. Do try to donate. We will get a lot out of anything which you send our way. We're very, very resourceful, and we're able to do and punch way above our weight with relatively less resources than some of the bigger independent or mainstream alternative outlets out there, which there are quite a few. But we're still able to make a massive impact, and a bigger impact journalistically than some of the big mainstream alternative media outlets do. So we're not just doing video, we're doing journalism as well. It's another reason why you should support us. Look, that's all we've got time for today. Take care, you guys. I hope you're going to have a fantastic week. Thank you for your energy in the comment sections, and genius as usual from our audience. You guys just keep getting better and better. Appreciate the stickers as well as the super chats. If you're feeling generous, drop us some stickers or super chats during the outro here. We're going to play Sean Helton and the Real Anthem Band. What an incredible project musically. Very happy to promote Sean's work. Hit the link on Bandcamp in the description and buy some of Sean's tracks for $1 or whatever it is. But, if we have a few hundred people downloading the Real Anthem Band's tracks, makes a big difference for this independent band. Help get them up the charts on some of those platforms with the independent acts. So that's one thing we'll do. We'll do more promotion of other independent artists. And of course, we've got our friend Joseph Arthur and others will be working into the mix coming up in the coming weeks. Anyway, this is Patrick Henningsen, 600 episode, 600 of the Sunday Wire. Take care. All the best.
Show of secret talks, a cold stealing serpent calls, buildings burn, masking riot shots. It's TV terror, watch the will of God. Hey, here we are, heaven come down. Here we are, coast consuming all our lives. Rejuvenate, resist the pulling dark. False flags and endless wars. Mass form psychosis waged. Forced medical tyranny. The complications we'll soon see. Hey, here we are. Heaven come down. Here we are. Heaven come down. Heaven come down. Your hands in the light.
Nobody here wants your war. We see through it all and we know the score. You saw yourself off just like before, chasing the ghost of something more. More money, more death, more greed makes the children bleed. More oil, more land to feed, an endless need. It's an endless need, an endless need. It's an endless need. Nobody here wants your war. Thousands will die, maybe many more. The ghosts will find you knocking on your door. Nobody here wants your war. More money, more death, more greed makes the children bleed. More oil, more land to feed. It's an endless need. Endless need. It's an endless need. Endless need. Nobody here wants your war. Schoolhouse is burning, the tickers run. Who were they to you? Nothing more. But they were somebody's daughter and somebody's son. More money, more death, more greed makes the children bleed. More oil, more land to feed, an endless need. More money, more death, more greed makes the children bleed.